The panel is back, and Team USA will play in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another couple games that happened just this morning before the show. Germany knocked off Greece. Greece is going back home in the Olympics.
Goodbye.
Serbia just pulled off the comeback of the year against Australia. Australia's going back to the land down under. Let's talk about these games right quick, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Swiper, you seem in a joyous mood. Serbia got the victory. What happened?
Man, you know, first off, hello, everyone. I know this is outside of my regularly scheduled program. I'm usually not here on Tuesday, but I had to see my brothers, man. I'll get to see y'all. I'm not going to see y'all a lot in the couple weeks. And I'm bound traveling and all that stuff. But look, man, Serbia was down. How much, Ox? 24 points?
24.
Mars, 24 points?
24
I'm not going to lie,
points.
I thought they were done too, Mars. I was getting ready for my off-season plans. You know what I mean? I got to do Locked On Nuggets today. I'm about to talk about off-season rest schedules, chill, you know, how Jokic can come back ready, you know, for this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, sir. You think we about to lose to Josh Giddey?
Mm-hmm.
And then they started locking up and locking in. Chill. I mean, elite defense across the board. Number 30, Aleska for Serbia started playing like Tony Allen level defense in the end of the second quarter and in the third quarter, and that really changed the swing of the game. I think it was a 25-11 run in the third quarter as well for Team Serbia. Just went absolutely bonkers. And then they have a particular style of defense that Serbia plays in the fourth quarter. Well, literally, they will switch everything. So chill. That means Jokic versus Patty Mills, Jokic versus Josh Giddey, Jokic versus Dyson Daniels, Jokic versus Dante Exum. And here we go. And Jokic, chill. He was up for the task. He was up for the task. Multiple stops in POA. Now, again, granted, got some help. 1,000% got some help. He's a center. You don't want centers on the island like that consistently. But when he was by himself, now Patty Mills made one of those shots. I think Jokic held him for 1 of 3 on the last 3 possessions. That one that he tied the game with was insane. That was like
that was his only bucket of the quarter. He didn't score.
That was
his only bucket of the
Kyrie
quarter.
Irving. That was the Kyrie Irving left-handed shove over Jokic. It was crazy.
Yeah,
but
his only bucket.
That block that he had on Josh Giddey tried to take the hole.
Yep.
I mean, Marv, was that Giannis? Was that Jokic? I can't. I couldn't. My eyes were deceiving me for a minute.
Let's chill out. Easy.
But it was a great defensive stop. It was a great defensive stop, and then Jokic closes the game out with obviously his patented floater. And then chill, up 1 with just mere seconds left, and you get a soundboard shuffle over somebody, and then the call laughed. They laughed when he shot the ball and then made it.
Because they knew what it was. They knew what it was. They knew exactly what it was. So
Hakeem had the dream shake. Jokic has the soundboard shuffle. That's just kind of how it works. So it was a great game. Great comeback from Serbia all the way around. Insane.
Ron, I did not see the Germany Greece game, but from what I understand, it was Giannis against Germany. From what I understand,
who called that? Who said that was going to be the case?
You did say that. Yes, 100%. You did say that, and it ended up being Giannis versus Germany. I didn't see the game, but I did watch the Serbia Australia game. And if Australia could take better care of the basketball, they win that game going away. That's the difference in the game, because they were getting whatever they wanted when it came to the action. Serbia's transition defense, I thought, was below average. What Serbia did in the second half was they basically made the game more physical, and they took Australia out of what they were trying to do. They got more physical with them. They got on the glass more. The FIBA rules, what they do is they protect guys way more than I realized. So like smacking the ball off the rim, that's a pretty big deal. Like you can't do that in the NBA. You can do that in FIBA. That's a bucket for Patty Mills in the NBA. When they're going back and forth, that's a bucket for him. Now, I have to tell you guys, and I'm dying on this hill, I want to stick a letter opener in my ear like 16,000 times when I watch guys switch go screens. That makes me nuts because I got to keep there is no screen, there is no reason to switch. And as good as Joker was on the switch, I do not like him 24 feet away from the basket on Patty Mills. I don't. We can do a better job in getting around screens. I thought that Serbia could have did a better job in transition. In scoring, they had a bunch of 4-on-1s, 4-on-2s, where they ended up getting nothing. But Joker's the best player on the planet. I don't think that that's a question. Mars, your man, Jacques Landale, he can be very frustrating at times. 100% he can be. He can be very – because he looks so good, whether it's on offense, whether he's getting putbacks or knocking down mid-range shots. He looks great, but he just untimely fouls. And the fact that he doesn't foul playing defense, that's the problem. He just fouls. And that throws a monkey wrench in what they're doing. It just does. So I still think Team USA should handle Serbia, but I love the way they fought back.
And Serbia won 95-90. A couple key stats. Jokic turned in his daily ironically on a Tuesday numbers. 21, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals, and a Giannis Antetokounmpo block. Shout out to Jokic. Bogey had 17, 6 assists. Shout out to Bogey. Vasily Micic, 14 and 6 off the bench. Shout out to the Serbians for winning. And Australia had Josh Giddey with 25 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 7 turnovers though, Josh. Damn. But he shot it efficiently, 11 for 20 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3. Salute to Josh. This was a good summer for him.
That's terrible, Josh. 7 turnovers. I don't care what you did.
If you was on the sideline, I'm telling you, you wouldn't have dreads. You would have pulled your dreads out. You'd be like, get Josh Giddey open. You wouldn't have been able to handle it.
7 turnovers is unacceptable. I don't care what else you did. I don't care. 7. You can't make up for 7 turnovers. I don't care.
Patty had 4.
I do want to talk about what you were saying a minute ago, though, Chill. And I've been saying this for a while now, ever since I experienced those FIBA rules. I think that you should be able to knock that ball off the rim.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the one thing that I was I've always thought that should be the rule. Somebody was talking about they should change NBA to straight FIBA rules. I'm not sure about that, but the knocking the ball off the rim though, that should 100% be in the NBA. And the thing about it though, Chill, is it takes time to get adjusted to that. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you're used to American style basketball, you're not just going to instantly get on board with that because I've seen where the ball sitting there and it'd be like, oh shit, I could have knocked that off. You know what I'm saying? Like damn. So, but I think once they get used to it, comfortable, I think that's good for the game. I like that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think it's good?
It just seems right, Mars. I don't know. It's just something about it. Like once you're doing it, it just seems like that should be the way. Like, why should we have to see if the ball don't go straight in? Why should I have to just sit here and just watch the ball roll around the rim and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it.
Mars, you can equate it. Mars, what I can equate it to is I can equate it to a running back. If he's on the sideline and he's tiptoeing on the sideline and he's still tiptoeing, I should be able to push him out of bounds. Why should I just wait to see if he runs into the end zone or he falls out of bounds? I should be able to push him out of bounds if he's tiptoeing on the sideline, up the sideline.
Does that apply to offensive players? So if the ball's on the rim, the offensive player can tip it into?
I think so.
You know how many tip dunks we would get?
Okay.
I'm feeling that.
You know how many
that Patty Mills one was clutch, Ron. The one that Patty drove by him, and then it was sitting. Because I forgot for a minute.
That's
Ron,
the go-ahead bucket right there. That's the go-ahead bucket.
I forgot for a minute you could do it, and then he did it. I was like, oh snap! I love it. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that count as it's obviously not a block because he only has one block. So what is it? A rebound or nothing? Like on the stat sheet? Is it?
I'm not sure what it is on the stat sheet. I don't know.
Okay.
If you don't get the rebound, it's not a rebound. Right? If you don't get the rebound, it's clearly not a rebound. So it would have to be a block.
No, but he only has one block on the stat sheet, so it didn't count as a block.
Yeah,
okay,
so
it just counts as nothing, then I'm guessing.
Right.
Unless you're Wemby and you actually grab it off the rim, but he's ridiculous.
And this the thing where I disagree because I see somebody in the chat says like that's crazy because there's too much athleticism in the NBA. But it's not hard to knock the ball off the rim. And there's guys that are plenty athletic enough over in the EuroLeague. Like if it's not hard to go do that. So I don't think that ruins the game. I don't think that changes the integrity of the game. And it's not like because you still can't come from under the rim. You still got to be outside the rim. You know what I'm saying? You can't put your hand through the rim or nothing like that. So it's still a timing thing. You know what I mean? If you're getting boxed out or something like that, you're fighting for a rebound. It's not like that happens every play. You know what I mean? It happens, but that's just my personal.
Well, let me ask you this, Ox. How many times have we seen guys in the league hit the ball off the rim when it's on the rim? How many times have we seen guys do that? That's not something that's not going on the regular. We've seen guys do that. And to be honest with you, how much faster would the game be if we being honest? Not just how much faster would the game be. If we get into the meat and potatoes of games, that would affect guys finishing now. Because if I know that you can knock the ball if it's on the rim, if I know that you can knock the ball off the rim, I'm more than likely going to try to dunk the ball now, more than I am trying to lay the ball up and be cute with it, because I know that if it's spinning around the rim, you can knock it off. So I think finishing will be affected by that.
And you still can't goaltend. It's not like I can lay it up off the backboard. You can knock it off the backboard. You know what I'm saying? That's still goaltending.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So with this game, also Patty Mills had the game of his life. He did what Patty Mills typically does in big games like this. He had 26 points on 11 for 21 shooting.
Yeah.
Few rebounds, couple steals, and made some big shots.
Wait a second, Ron. Wait a second. This dude Swiper is really pissing me off, man.
Why?
He talking to Patty was talking about bye.
Yeah,
like, bro, you're not Serbian, bro. You're not Serbian. Calm down.
I mean, you got to ask Serbians. They do think pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I'll say that. But I
can't believe you, Swiper. You done let
17 to start the game, Bob.
You done let Joker convert you to a Serbian. What's wrong with you?
I'm still American.
We're talking about body, Patty Mills.
I associate with Serbia.
I feel you being like happy for Jokic winning and stuff like that. Like I could dig that for sure. That's one of your favorite players by all means. If Lithuania was in this and winning, I'd be juiced. You know, I'll probably be pulling for Lithuania, no doubt. But if they beat France, I wouldn't be like, bye, Evan, bye.
Yeah,
Rudy.
get out of. Did you see what Patty Mills was making? Am I tripping, y'all? Did you see what Patty Mills making?
Didn't Ron tell you yesterday that what Patty Mills going to do in games like
that? But he hasn't done that in the last 7 games. He was literally making like over big contested mid-range shots
Patty
repeatedly.
Is nice, Swiper.
Patty Mills been doing that since
he had a 42 piece for a bronze once. I know he's great. He's a really good player. But come on, Ox. They were 13-17 to start the game off. 13-17.
And be clear about one.
That's good Australian basketball.
Can we be clear about one thing? Can we be clear about one thing, Ox? Okay, first and foremost, if Domantas Sabonis was in the Olympics and Lithuania was in the Olympics and they were in a dogfight, if they were in a dogfight with not Australia, I don't know, let's say they were in a dogfight with Germany and Sabonis ends up tipping the ball in to win the game, Ox, you would be telling Germany goodbye, see you later.
100% I wouldn't. I would not do that.
You would tell Dennis.
I would be happy for Domantas. I would be happy for Lithuania, but I wouldn't be wearing a Lithuanian flag around my shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't got no flag.
I would. On top of that, chill. You know, Franz Wagner is one of my favorite young players. So I wouldn't be.
Chill. Who is this? Yeah. Chill. Who are these two people? Chill. Who are these two people?
That's Magic and Jordan.
What? I ain't got no Serbian flag.
That's Wilt and Jalen Green.
All right. There you go.
Yo, but
yeah, not chill. You're right. I would be definitely happy for Lithuania. I wish that they were in it. I wish them, all that for sure. But Swiper over here really happy for Serbia.
The difference is, Domantas would never do that. He can't hit no jump shot, no fadeaway bucket in the clutch for real. That ain't hit a bag. You ain't got a player on the roster that can do that. De'Aaron can't do it. Keegan can't do it. Demontis can't do it. Keon Ellis can't do it.
You going too far, bro. You going too far. On top of that, Demontis be cooking Jokic. Don't act like he don't.
Hey man,
don't act like he don't swipe.
Him and Embiid can hold hands and we cook Jokic in the regular season awards. That's what they got. They both got it. They both got those awards.
That's cool. You'll take that.
I'm happy with that shit. That's all I got. It's the regular season. That's all I got, bro.
You'll take that, sure.
Swiper. They're trying to say that the S in your hat stands for Serbia. Is that
true?
I'm
not gonna look, y'all. Serbia helped bring me here. They have been behind me since I started. So I mean, I have nothing but love for Serbia. I'll be there next year. I already got because if you know somebody that works at hotels, y'all, by the way, they get comp at nice hotels. So I got comp hotel nights already in Serbia in July. So I'm going to Serbia 1,000%. Huh?
You can't put me on with no Serbs. You know them. I know them. We brothers.
I'm saying, but you want to go? Matter of fact, that's what we should do. Players' choice. What is it called when Players' choice meets up? Players' choice weekend. What's it called, Chill?
We just go PC Weekend International.
PC Weekend International in Serbia. How about that, Chill?
When you going?
Next year, next July.
I have
next
July.
Serbia.
Serbia is not on
my why?
Belgrade. Serbia is not on my bucket list.
Go to Belgrade.
Hey, chill. Okay.
Belgrade.
Maybe I'm not with the ball. I'm not wanting to see Serbia more than I want to see Barcelona or wanting to see Australia.
Chill, you might be asleep.
Those guys are on my bucket list. Now, let me tell you now,
all we need is 200 bands, Chill. We need 200 bands. We can do a European tour right now.
Now, I will tell you this, Ron. I will tell you this, Ron. I was in Greece. I was in Greece, Ron, and I was in Greece, and I did at that time. It was like 2 or 3 of them. I ran into some Serbian women. Serbian women are beautiful. I will not argue that. Yes, they are. 100% they are.
I'm on record, Chill, saying every country got beautiful women.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't even think about the women. I know when I go there, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be gorgeous.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Swiper, I did not know you were a dual citizen now, but salute to you.
Yeah, shout out.
Mars is working on his dual citizenship too. I heard from some British people that they're kind of disappointed in you, Mars.
Mm-hmm.
They are kind of disappointed in you because basically, all in all, with everything that's going on, you're basically American now.
Okay.
And they said you don't put on for your people anymore. They said you don't rep the country, you don't rep the city, you don't rep the turf no more.
You don't care.
Exactly.
Right.
I've been said I don't like just because somewhere I may reside. I don't care about the country. I don't care. Okay. In the PC Discord, they said I lost my accent. So
okay. No, that's not what's going on. No,
like, I genuinely don't care. Like this patriotism is more of an American thing anyway. I don't feel attached to a piece of land.
Right. But Mars, that would be crazy if you lost your accent just because you'd be on PC every day. Like that would be crazy though.
No, it's cool. It's called code switching. I don't speak like this in my day-to-day life, but I speak like this because it makes me easier to understand. I don't.
Can we hear how you talk in your everyday life?
Don't forget he's Jamaican.
I spoke closer to how I speak in real life the first time I was ever on the show.
Yeah.
You'll notice there was a clear change from how I first spoke on the show to how I speak now. Code switching. That still was kind of like me not speaking how I speak, but yeah. If you
want I really couldn't hardly understand you, Mars. I used to be like, bro, I wish this kid would just speak English. Like, well, what do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I need to lock in, man. I need to lock in. I for sure be speaking Mandarin. Yeah, I need to lock in.
All right, so also, aside from Patty Mills and Josh Giddey both having good games, well, scoring games at least. Dante Exum off the bench had 12 points, 5 assists. Shout out to Dante Exum. And it was some other NBA players that didn't really have the best
chill on my
game.
guy Dyson, man. Chill on my guy Dyson Daniels.
Oh,
chill on my guy Dyson.
It's somebody else you need to worry about. Well, Matthew Dellavedova came off the bench. He didn't really score, but I just want to show him some love. He had 3 rebounds.
Wait. What was that deal Matthew got? 37 mil all those years ago? 37, 36?
39 million.
That might be LeBron James' best championship he's ever won. It's getting him 39
That's a well-deserved amount of money for Matthew Dellavedova, man. Get your money, man.
Respect.
Shout out Delly.
Good work, Delly. Yeah,
Ron, but hyping three rebounds for anybody, bro. We don't.
Yeah, I wanted to transfer love. You got 3 rebounds, like
I love Matthew Dellavedova just like the next guy, but Ron, please don't do that again, bro.
All right, shout out Matthew Dellavedova. Also, Dyson Daniels only had 0 points, but he had 4 steals.
He's a defender. Yeah, he's gonna be really good next year. I'm excited for him.
And then last but not least, Mars's main man, Jacques Landale, had 5 points.
He was in the ghost today. Mr. Ghost.
Listen, man.
Foul trouble.
We had
5 fouls.
We had an off night. It's cool.
Well, where were his fouls coming from, Mars? Because it's not like he was like 1v1.
The last foul was the Mičić foul. I'll be lying if I said I remember all the other ones, but he has a tendency to just commit stupid fouls anyway. So I'm not entirely surprised by that. But Mičić did miss one of those free throws.
He did.
So good foul, Jack. Good foul, drop. Good foul. Now it brought in Doc Reef, who ended up getting cooked by Jokic in overtime. But we'll live with it. Yeah. It was a good foul. Now
but Swiper, wouldn't you agree, Swiper, that even if it's not necessarily like guarding you straight up 1-on-1, like whatever the scheme may be, if I'm Landale or if I'm Reef, like it's still rough on me though. Like this is Jokic in front of me. I know I don't have to handle it by myself, but it's yeah.
Well,
he's capable of doing so many different things. Like I have to be.
But it could have been worse if the Serbian coach had any clue what he needed to do in the fourth quarter and overtime. I don't know how much you saw the game, Ox. Jokic
Not much. I didn't see much of it. I was streaming this morning.
5 straight possessions, Ox, didn't touch the ball in the clutch. They had two centers on the court, and Jokic was playing in the corner. And they ran 0 action through him. And guess how many points they scored?
No.
0. No.
That reminds me of that one time when the Cowboys was playing. What was they playing? They got the overtime drive and didn't throw it to Dez one time. I was like, Tony, you just not trying to win, are you? Fucking Cowboys.
Well, if I remember correctly, Jokic ended because Australia was switching and Jokic ended up having smaller guys on him, and he was trying to get the post position and he was calling for the ball. But they were doing a good job front in the post. That's why Jokic didn't get the ball. They tried to get him the ball. They just didn't feel comfortable throwing the entry.
They didn't switch nearly as much.
He ended up yelling at Micic a couple times because what they would do is, because you know how in the NBA, Mars, like, because you're used to the speed and the athleticism, if you see a big get a win right away, it's like an immediate, you want to try to give them the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They would try to wait like an extra 2 seconds, and then by that point, they will come and they will collapse, and then they ended up getting a couple turnovers there. So you're right. But like, bro, like, they're just not. And again, the Serbians don't even like their coach all that much. He's 74 years old, so he's been coaching a long time. But he sometimes looks like he coaches at his age.
There's Greg Popovich over there on the sideline.
Are y'all saying the game passed him by?
No, I mean he just they were running 2 centers, when Australia was running 4 shooters and a big, and they weren't even getting offensive rebounds for a while.
Yeah, but Swiper. See, I know. Chill, we talked about this before on Chill with Chill. I don't like to feel like I have to adjust to every move you make. Mm-hmm. At some point, I need to force it the other way, where you have to adjust to me. Mm-hmm. You want to run shooters, I can run a certain way. I'm not gonna succumb to your pressure. Like we're gonna make you switch up what you're doing. Maybe that's how he was feeling. And I'm honestly not mad at that, especially since they got the win.
On top of that, I'm assuming he was playing Nikola Milutinov. I like the Jokic Milutinov lineup, especially against a smaller team where they don't have nothing for you. Sometimes you got to impose your will.
But the problem, it pushed Joker out. Like it pushed him away from the rim on offense, and they weren't running any action. And then he ended up getting corner threes in that spot. But like Jokic isn't hitting threes right now, so that's basically a 0.
When's Jokic going to get his wrist fixed?
Never. Oh, not to the end of his career. We know how that works.
Interesting.
It's not going to
happen. Okay. Interesting.
No, it's not going to happen.
They didn't switch as much as I thought that they would, Mo. I don't think Australia switched nearly as much as Serbia did.
Oh yeah, definitely not as much as Serbia.
And I think that game, Australia could have won that game going away. Take better care of the basketball. Patty Mills turning the ball over in the meat and potatoes of the game. Josh Giddey turning the ball over when Serbia's on a run. Serbia was on an 8-0 run, and they had an opportunity to cut. They had an opportunity to cut the momentum. Josh Giddey throws a cross-court pass, and it gets picked off. I'm thinking, that's the kind of stuff that turns 8-0 runs into 12-0 runs and gets teams right back in the game. They did not take care of the basketball. The action that they ran still was better, even with the personnel that they have. Because I don't think they were as talented, to be honest with you, as Serbia. But they took terrible care of the basketball.
Well, they had all NBA players on the court at one point though. So like they have like they have a talent advantage because they had what were they running, y'all? Dyson Daniels, Dante Exum, Jock Landale was on the court. They had Patty Mills and like Josh Giddey. Like talent.
And sure. Right. And with that being said, with what Serbia had when they had Joker on the floor, but they had Micic on the floor. The left-handed kid
would be on the floor.
They had Bogey on the floor. The left-handed kid, Pechinov. I feel
Is it Guduric? Ox, do you remember his name?
I feel like that's his name. Marko Guduric.
Don't get him started on Guduric.
I feel like that.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm sorry. I feel like that group. One, they were more talented, but I feel like what Australia did, and that means that now I got to take even more care of the basketball because we outmanned. And if you outmanned and you're not taking care of the basketball, then you find yourself in the position that they was in. They was down 24 points at one point. 24. When you're down that much in an international game, when you're only playing in the 40-minute game, you got to take better care. You have to take better care of the basketball. In addition to taking better care of the basketball, you got to defend, and they didn't. They did not do any of those.
Joe,
things.
do you think it's? Do you like in the NBA and basketball now because of the 3-point line? Because multiple things. The whistle. Do you feel like it's almost detrimental to be up 20 plus points in the second quarter? Like, I mean, detrimental in like when you're in a single elimination setting like this, it's the amount of pressure you're feeling to hold on to the lead. Because if you do start missing shots, remember they went from 24 to 12. And then it got back up to 17, and then it went down to 10. They ended at 12. So if you go from 24 to 12 going into the half, I guess what I'm saying, Mars, is like the other team at that point, they just feel like hella confidence.
They're playing with house money, but I'd always rather be up 24 than down 24.
That's what I was
every time. I'd always rather it, but I understand the perspective of if we go 3 straight possessions without scoring, that 24 turns into 16. You start feeling a bit tense. I understand that, but I'm still choosing to be up 24 and feel a bit of tension, then have to try and come back down 24.
But even if I am up,
go ahead.
But Mars, even if I am up 20 and we don't score 3 straight possessions and that 20 goes to 16, well, whatever I'm doing prior to that, I can get back to that. I understand what momentum means, right? I understand that you can start playing some defense and you can go on a run, but I'm clearly doing something to get this lead and sustain this lead, whether it's taking better care of the basketball or Serbia. I thought Serbia did a good job in transition early in the game. Late in the game, I thought they had a bunch of 4-on-1s, 4-on-2s that they didn't convert on. If you can stick with that, even if we have a lead, stick to what works. And if that doesn't work, talk to each other. And I feel like if we're up, we can stay up, especially if we up by that much. When you're up 24, I do understand that you end up teams go on runs. I understand that the NBA, to your point, Swiper, is a game of runs because you have so much talent. But I also feel like whatever it is that we're doing, we can get back to that.
But again, Chill, they were 13 of 17 though, and they were hitting tough jumpers.
Yeah.
So once that comment went away,
it was probably unsustainable.
Yeah, that's the only thing right there, Swiper. That's the only thing right there, Swiper. Like I feel you. Like if you come out up because you're just that hot, then eventually you're gonna cool down. More than likely you'll cool down. My problem is when you go up on runs like that and you get coaches that we're gonna slow it down, protect the ball. That's where you lose. Like if I'm up 20, okay, now this next quarter we're going up 40. Next quarter, you know what I'm saying? Like we not slowing the ball down. We're not bringing out the shooters.
Do you think you start chasing yourself though, Ox? Like when you play that well, for instance, for a quarter, in the second quarter, do you start chasing your own greatness almost?
I feel maybe so, but I'd rather chase my greatness than their greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm up 20, I'm never I would never take my foot off the brake. Never, not the third quarter, fourth quarter, until maybe there's 3 or 4 minutes left in the game and we're up 28. Then it's like, okay, let these guys get some run. But I just hate when I see coaches do that. Like in the second quarter or third quarter, it's like, oh, we're up, let's get comfortable, or let's slow the ball down. Like, obviously, I don't want us to play like super risky and throw turnovers and stuff like that. But we're still looking for I feel like at all the time, we need to be looking for the best shot. You know what I'm saying? First shot, unless.
Was that the Dallas Laker game when they were up 30 and then they came back? I think it was like a year and a half ago. I don't know if y'all remember that. They were up. There was like a 30-point lead.
27, actually. It was
27, and then the Lakers came back in that game.
27, and the Lakers came back and beat them. Yes,
that game, but then the Wolves game, obviously Nuggets game 7. It's almost like, but I think Ox, the thing is, because the Nuggets were getting good looks.
Yeah.
But once you start clanking and you start feeling like they're creeping back, because they start hitting a couple shots, it's like the whole like momentum. You tighten up naturally. And then, but again, I'd rather be on that side. But I would almost rather be a process game, Ox, where like we're exchanging bucket for bucket, and we're both getting good shots, and it's really who can sustain like good process more so than hot shooting. You know.
Well now I'm thinking,
fellas, I got to step in. We got to move on, fellas. I got to step in.
Oh, this is good stuff.
It is, but I got better stuff. Like, we got a 20-point lead. Ox said he wants to take it to 40. Let's do that. I want to let you guys know that in 30 minutes exactly, France is playing against Canada. So y'all be sure to tap into that, and we'll be talking about that live on the show because it will be going on live on the show. And then also the finale of the day, we got Team USA. We'll be playing against Brazil, and that will be 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. So y'all be sure to tap into that.
I think it's 12:30 that they. I think it's 3:30 that they play, Ron.
12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern.
Yes.
Be sure to tap into that. It's gonna be a good game. We'll see if Team USA can take care of business today, and in what manner they take care of business. But fellas, I got to get to the title of the show. An NBA title is greater than an Olympic gold medal. Now, before I get into the quotes and all of this good stuff, do you guys believe that an NBA title is better than a gold medal?
100% it is.
In America,
1,000%
at least.
it is.
Not across the world.
I think it depends. I think
depends on where
Manu
you are.
Ginobili's Olympic gold is more valuable than his.
100%.
No one calls Melo a champion. No one does, unfortunately.
Which is ridiculous.
And for an American, I think an
Yeah.
NBA title. For a non-American, I think an Olympic gold. So
For Devin Booker, yes. For Devin Booker, it's like, I need a ring. Like Devin, I forgot Devin Booker was on the team, Ron. You know what I'm saying? That's how serious. Like not like that. Like I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not doing anything. Don't get me wrong. But like I'm like when we talk about the USA basketball, we were talking about the other day. I never forgot Devin Booker was on the team. I was talking about KD and Edwards, this and that guy. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to bring up Devin Booker. You know what I'm saying? And that's not out of disrespect. That's just because this team is a super squad.
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like if we lose, it's kind of like damn. But like if we win, still like all right. Kind of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but for Devin Booker, if they would have won in 21, bro, he gets talked about. I think Devin Booker gets talked about so much differently if they beat the Bucks.
I think it's way more significant to win the Olympic gold medal in other countries because international play is a bigger deal than the NBA. Because it's more obtainable to play in. I know this sounds ridiculous, but it's more obtainable to play in the Olympics if you're from South Sudan than it is to play in the NBA. And I know that sounds crazy because we could actually have a team that can make the Olympics as opposed to one of us going to the NBA and actually making it to the NBA and winning an NBA championship. If we are in the Olympics or any sort of international play, there's way more predicated on people from other countries valuing that more than they do with the NBA.
I think it's just player dependent. Devin Booker, I agree. For him, yeah. I mean, it's definitely harder to win a championship in the league than it is to win a gold medal, or more valuable because Team USA has the overwhelming advantage in the Olympics, whereas his Phoenix Suns team doesn't. It's like, but if I were to say to Kristaps Porzingis, would he rather win an NBA championship in Boston or an Olympic gold medal for Latvia, and which one would be more difficult? I'm sure he'd say Latvia. Yeah. It's relative to the competition in which you have to go through to win. Right. Non-Team USA members, it's going to be undoubtedly harder to win a gold medal in the Olympics than it would be to win an NBA championship. Yeah. But for Team USA members, undoubtedly, it's going to be harder to win.
Mark, is it different? Is it different for overseas guys that like stay in America as opposed to maybe like guys like that go home a lot, guys that go home as soon as the season's over, guys that are really just connected to home, guys that are not trying to like get American, like dual citizenship. Guys like that. Or does it not
value matter? In terms of what the medal means to them, I'm sure if you're more connected to your homeland or wherever you're from, it probably means more to you in terms of if you go home to Latvia every summer and you're there every year, you're with your family or where you grew up. I'm sure doing that for your country would mean more than if you just lived in America all year round, but you were born in Latvia. But in terms of the degree of difficulty, it would still just be more difficult for you to win a gold medal for Latvia. So what Ron is going to pull up the quote, but I'm pretty sure Devin Booker said it's more difficult to win an NBA championship. So for him, yes. But for non-Team USA members, no, I don't know.
Plus, I also think we're in a space where we're spoiled. I mean, in the last, I think since 1988, the U.S. has lost gold once.
Men's.
The women have never lost. Yeah,
women have never.
Lost. Yeah. So because you've done this so much, it's almost like it's a birthright. So it doesn't really seem like it's that big a deal. As opposed, and I always reference this. Because this is Ox's man. Mehmet Okur used to play for the Utah Jazz, and I remember Kobe Bryant in 2000 didn't play on the Olympic team because he got married that summer. Mehmet Okur said, quote, if Turkey had qualified for the Olympics, my wedding would have got pushed back. That's how important 100%. That kind of stuff is. He made that crystal clear. Now, I don't think that there's a guy that's saying that in the NBA, but I just feel like it's a birthright. It's been a birthright.
Well, Steph Curry did say he planned his him and Aisha just had a baby in May. He said they planned their pregnancy around the Olympics so that Steph wouldn't have to miss it. So for the birth of his child. So
that's what the Egyptian girl did.
Steph is someone who has never competed in the Olympics, so I guess like he wanted to do that. But like it's pretty simple for Team USA. It just doesn't mean as much. Like people still call Carmelo Anthony a loser. He has what, 3 gold medals? People call Chris Paul a loser. He has 2 gold medals. People call James Harden a loser. Yeah, people call James Harden a loser. He has a gold medal. Like these guys haven't won anything in the NBA. They get demonized. They have gold medals. No one cares because they're from Team USA.
But
if James Harden was from Bermuda and won, he'd get praised. So,
but this the thing with that though. See, Chuck, I'm not sure about like so the baby thing. You know, I don't know about like all that. You know what I'm saying? Like playing, but like as far as a wedding goes, even though I've said a bunch of times up here, like okay, you know what I'm saying? Like we can, I do value the ring more than the Olympic gold medal. Like I'm not gonna choose my wedding over going to the Olympics. Like if I got the opportunity to go to the Olympics and I'm American or whatever, like we can get married in September. You know, fall is beautiful. Fall is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? We can get married in September. You know what I'm saying? I'm not choosing my wedding over the Olympics. Like I think I don't know. I just think that's you know everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Right.
I can't judge anybody.
I just feel like with how international play is and the Olympics basically being, especially internationally, the Olympics being the pinnacle, that these guys value that way more because it's a representation of their country as opposed to it just being, y'all play in the Euro League and I play for Barcelona and, you know, we trying to beat Greece. It wouldn't just be, it would be FC Barcelona against Greece. It's Spain against Greece, basically. And that's the way they view it internationally. So when you get to the Olympics, that gets even higher. That's why I feel like
how many players you could remember? Everybody, for most part, a lot of Olympians, and I would be the same way. Like a lot of Olympians, they get the Olympic rings on them as soon as they get invited and all that stuff because it means something.
So many tattoos of like people.
But I don't see a lot of hoopers with that though. Just in America, just because again, it's just the culture. Like you're just not rewarded for winning at that level because the expectation is if you don't win gold, it's not like this is how it is in the US. You have to win gold. If you don't win gold, you failed. If you win gold, you did your job. That's the way it's perceived. Like there's no real celebration. Like you're not coming back home and getting like awards, and they're not like stopping and doing parades for you and all that stuff. Like when Jokic won in 2016, when he got that silver medal, all of Serbia came out. He was crying on stage, like how much it meant to people and all that stuff. Then you come back in America, if Devin Booker tried to throw a parade in Phoenix, people be like, okay, well, right. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. But again, like there's a dude, I don't know, again, I watch all the Olympic events. There's a dude named Mijane Lopez. I don't know if y'all know who he is. He wrestles Greco-Roman at 286. Chill. He won the gold in 8, won the gold in 12, won the gold in 16, won the gold in 21. Hasn't competed since 2021. Came back for this Olympics for Cuba. And he's on his way to winning his 5th straight Mars. He hasn't competed since 2021. But he's so dominant, he's winning the gold again. He's going to win.
Right.
And
that's impressive.
But he's from Cuba. But that's the thing, like for them and for other people, it's just like this is like everything. I'm fighting for my country because you know we get representation. When the woman that just won, we just talked about, won the 100-meter dash from St. Luke, from
Alfred, Julian Alfred,
from St.
Lucia.
Yeah.
Did y'all see Gabby digging last night? Ooh, that's the race I've been waiting for. Gabby Thomas, she was coming around that corner, digging last night. I love Gabby Thomas, man.
All right, y'all. So let's get into it. Y'all remember last summer the quote from Noah Lyles that went uber viral. He said, alluding to Team USA, the men's basketball team. He said in 2023 on NBA players calling themselves the world champions. Well, not alluding to Team USA, alluding to the NBA. Calling the national or the champions of the NBA world champions. He said world champions of what? The United States. And obviously that caused a lot of turmoil within basically him versus the whole NBA and the whole basketball culture here. And Devin Booker essentially responded to Noah Lyles winning the gold medal yesterday in the 100-meter dash saying, I still don't agree with the comment. I feel like all the best talent in the world is in the NBA. And this is coming from an Olympic gold medalist who believes that being an NBA champion is probably harder to do.
It's not for you to agree or disagree with. No allows was right. But yes, it probably is harder to do. We just spoke about that. Being harder to do doesn't make you the world champion. That's not how world champions work. No allows was objectively correct. NBA players didn't like it, but that doesn't change the fact that he was objectively correct. Something can be harder, but that's not the way to become a world champion. In basketball, the world champions are German. Whether you like it or not, they are the world champions. NBA teams can't be the world champions because they don't compete against the rest of the world. Just because the best players in the world play in the NBA,
well, that's not true.
That's how you become world champion.
That's not true because we did have that a while ago.
Yeah, you said you had that 30 years ago. Great. Yeah, now we don't have that. So now they are not world champions.
Right. We did have that a while ago. So I would like to get back to that.
That would be dope.
Yeah, I would like to get back to that.
I doubt the NBA would
wouldn't be competitive.
Yes, I would love to get back to that. And theoretically,
it would not be competitive if the Celtics played against. And I like Penn. I like Olympiacos. My brother Shaq plays for Olympiacos. I like Fenerbahce. I like Barcelona. I like Real Madrid. They always have competitive teams. It's not happening. They're not beating the Celtics. If we were to take the champions of the NBL, Ox, they're not beating the Celtics. If we were to take the champions of the BBL, Chat, I know that's your favorite league in Germany, the top league in Germany. The Frankfurt Skyliners are not beating the Celtics.
That's not the point, Ron.
They
got it. We need to see it happen.
By the way, yeah, no
one is saying it happen.
But see, that's the thing.
You literally
clarify this.
Let's clarify this, Moss, please.
Everyone and their mother knows Boston are the best team in the world. They would beat Panathinaikos. They would beat Olympiacos. They would beat Real Madrid. They would beat Barcelona. They would beat the Illawarra Hawks. Whatever team you want to come up with. However, in order to be a world champion, it's not are you the best in the world. You have to, factually, you have to compete against these teams. So even though we know what would happen, that is why it will never happen. We know Boston are the best team in the world, but you factually cannot call yourself world champions unless there is a competition open to teams from around the world. Even though we know the European champions would not beat the NBA champions, because there is no competition that allows the Asian champions, allows the African champions, allows the European champions, allows the Oceania, whatever that continent's called, champions to play against the North American champions. Because such a competition does not exist, there is no world champion in club basketball. That is why Germany right now are the world champions of international basketball, because there is a competition for that. And now the Olympics, I want to clarify once again, the Olympic champions are not world champions. They are Olympic champions. There are world championships in athletics. Noah Lyles, if he won that, would be a world champion. But because he won the 100-meter finals in the Olympics, he is an Olympic champion. They are two different things as well. The Olympic champion and world champions aren't the same thing, because there are world tournaments and Olympic tournaments. Two different things also. Just want to make sure everyone understands the distinctions between these terms. So just because you are the best team in the world does not mean you are world champions. Because that is not how world champions are decided.
Well, two things.
Is that the same thing with the best player in the world conversation, though? Do you feel like?
Yes.
You think it's the same thing?
No, the best player in the world is just a subjective title. Jokic is the best player in the world because he's the best player in the best league. Subjective title. World champion is not a subjective title. It's an objective reality. You have to do these things to be a world champion. It's not a subjective term. It's not just this guy's just
in soccer. But in soccer, we do have that award though. So I guess it's just
the Ballon d'Or, the best player in the world. Yeah, but that's open to every a Brazilian player in the Brazilian league could win it. A player in the European leagues could win it. But it's still it's like the MVP award. It's objectively you won the award, but it doesn't go to the best player. Especially
but here's the problem.
That's a whole lot of politics.
But here's the issue that
you look like you're dying to get in it.
Well, I'm just saying, Mars had some really good points, which it's a fact. You cannot be the world champion now. Only except we actually saw this in the past. Even though it was years ago, we did see it. So because we saw it, you can be called a world champion. This is not something that's just completely out of the realm where you should never be able to call the world champion. I saw the Houston Rockets, who won the NBA championship in 1995, go over to Europe in the McDonald's Open and beat the Australian champion and beat the EuroLeague champion and beat the Spanish champion. And now they're able to call themselves the world champion. I saw the Bulls do it in 98 in France, beat the world champion, beat the French league champion, beat the EuroLeague champion. I've seen these teams do this stuff. Now, again, Moss, back to your point, when you talk about being the world champion today, okay, because we don't have that today, that means that you can't be called the world champion. That doesn't mean that it can't come back, because we already saw it, and we can't eliminate it because it already happened in the past. Now, to your point, when you talk about if you're the Olympic champion, you can't be the world champion. Mars, these are the best runners in the world. These aren't just the best runners in the Olympics. These are the 10 best sprinters on planet Earth. These aren't the 10 best sprinters. Well, what you're trying to tell me is you're trying to tell me that if I win the gold medal in the Olympics, I'm not the best in the world. Like,
that's
I'm
not what I said. That's not what I said.
What am I missing? Because you just told me that
objective reality versus subjective terms.
Say, Mark. This is what I just heard you say.
Okay,
you told me that. I want to make sure I heard you correctly. You just said that the Olympic champion is different than the world champion because they're two different competitions. Is that not what I heard you say?
Yes. The Olympic champion is the champion of the Olympics.
Okay.
And the world champion, like, I'll go to athletics.
Sure.
Noah Lyles just won the gold medal in the 100 meters. He is the Olympic champion in the 28 Olympics, which I believe is in the US. He will be the Olympic champion. He'll be the reigning Olympic champion. The athletics have a world championship that I don't know how often it is. So I'm not
like
fully but they have the world championship.
Right.
If Noah Lyles won that, that would be him being the world champion. The same way the FIBA World Cup in basketball is how Germany are the world champions.
Sure.
Team USA winning the Olympics would make them Olympic champions. They are two different competitions. Objective reality is these are the steps you have to take to be world champion. Right. In basketball, we would have to have a tournament. In club basketball, we would have to have a tournament that includes the EuroLeague champion, the Asian League champion, etc., etc. And they would have to all compete against each other. The winner is the world champion. Right. Someone left a comment earlier saying, well, technically, all the countries didn't compete against, what was he talking about, against in the Olympics or something. All the countries don't compete, so they're not in the final, so it's not world champions. No, because all these countries had except for Russia, because of
they had the opportunity, though.
But every country had the opportunity to get to the finals and compete. It's the same way in Europe. The Champions League winners in football are the European champions, not because every country in Europe is in the Champions League, but because in order to make the Champions League, you have to do good in your domestic leagues. So the top 4 teams in the English league make the Champions League. The top 4 teams in the French league make the Champions League, Portugal, etc., etc. And then it's the best of the best from all of these domestic leagues come together to compete in Europe. That's how it would work in this terms for club basketball. The best teams from the NBA, maybe it's the best team or the 2 best teams, the 2 finals opponents come into that tournament versus the 2 finals opponents from the EuroLeague versus 2 finals opponents from an Asian league, etc., etc. They would all meet up and then they would play. That is how it would have to work to be a world champion objectively. Now, when we use these terms, we have to have definitions of the terms, or we could go down the slippery slope of, hey, if you want to identify as world champion, identify as world champion. But that's on you. I believe these terms have to have meaning.
But I also
that's
think
what I was saying to you, Ron. Yeah, that's fine. We can say that the Celtics are the best team in the world. They can be the best team in the world, but they can't be world champions.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like this, that's I'm fine with that. Oh yeah, they're the best team in the world. Cool, but they're not the world champions. You know what I mean? That's all
I'll purposely try to stay out of this because Ox and Mars, I'm just gonna piss y'all off. As an American, I don't give a damn. Them boys is the world champions. Okay, y'all can get caught up on phrases and words and whatnot. Everybody in their
why are you so comfortable being wrong, Ron? Why are you so comfortable being wrong?
I don't care if it's wrong
he
or
wants
not.
to be wrong. He's cool. Like, as long as he's aware of the fact that he's wrong, but he wants to stand on it. That's fine.
You guys are aware of the fact that you guys are really
stand on being wrong. I don't.
You guys are really aware of it. If you guys can sit on semantics and try to be proper.
That's not semantics. That's not semantics. That's
reality is
literally not semantics.
Objective reality.
You know, deep down in your heart of hearts and in your logic of logic and mind of mind that these guys are the world champions. Whether it's titled to them, whether it's
not how it works.
What it is.
Quick side note, Ron. Lori,
in my heart of hearts, Ron, I'm a neurosurgeon.
Yeah,
you know, Ron?
Just real quick.
In my heart of hearts,
42 a year.
I'm a neurosurgeon, and you know it.
Ron can stand on being wrong because Boston's the best team, so they're the world champ. That's fine. You can stand on that. I don't care. Everyone agrees Boston's the best team, except for the people who think like Boston would have lost if Denver made it or something. But for the most part, everyone thinks Boston are the best team in the world. Even the people who are saying they aren't the world champions. We just understand there's a difference between best in the world and world champions. You want to combine them and say they're the same thing? That's fine. You can be wrong. Cool. But don't act like you're right. You're not right.
I think that's where the divide is.
Not right.
I think that's where the divide is between you and me, Mars, because again, when we're talking about the Olympics, it's the best in the world. It's just not called the world champions, even though the Olympics are. I feel like this is the highest. This is all the countries, just like in the world championships, whether it's in track, whether it's most of the time it's in track where you have the world championships. In whether it's in University or it's at Oregon or it's in
the Olympics,
Spain.
World Cup, and World Championship Shield. How would you rank those in terms of importance? Do you think? Like,
I feel like the Olympic champion. I feel like the Olympics are the highest of all athletics. These are the best athletes on the planet. I don't think that this is some of the best or most of the best. I think that the Olympic champion is the best on the planet. I understand that with Mars, what you were explaining about world champion and Olympic champion. I feel like that's just wordplay, because if you took out Olympics and you took out world champion, you would have a champion. Even though all of these guys come together from different countries, not only do they come together from different countries, they're competing at the highest level. I just watched the dude win the world. I just watched the dude win the Olympic championship in 0.00005/10,000th of a second. And the second dude came behind him. I mean, these are the best runners on the planet.
Absolutely.
I don't think that there's a distinction when I'm talking about these two guys and what they did at the world championships. I don't think that there's a distinction at all. I think that if you win it there, I feel like you're the best in the world.
Yeah, I think the disagreement is, I'm not saying Noah Lyles isn't the fastest man on the planet. I'm pretty sure he is. Although I'm pretty sure Shane Thompson has run a faster 100 than Noah Lyles this year. But Noah Lyles the fastest man on the planet. I'm fine with that. And yes, people are saying it's semantics. Absolutely, it's semantics, because when we define terms, guess what? We're going to have semantic conversations. In order to define terms correctly, these conversations have to be semantics. We're going to be like, well, technically, this doesn't mean that. Yes, absolutely, because that's how you get real definitions of words. If you want to say, oh, well, all definitions are semantics, then that's how you get down the slippery slope that we're in 2024, where words don't mean what they're supposed to mean. So I'm sorry that I believe words should have definitions, and world champions has a definition. There's an objective way to achieve that goal of being a world champion. So I believe that you should follow that. But if you just think, hey, but the best in the world is the world champion, then we're just going to end up going down the slope of, well, who's the world champion? Is it Team USA or is it the Boston Celtics? And then now, no, I'm sorry. There's a way to become a world champion. That's what you do. I'm not living with this stupid world that you can just come up with a definition of a term and that's the right term. No, there's an actual definition of world champion. And that is the definition I'm going to go by. And by that definition, there hasn't been a world champion in the NBA since the McDonald's Open that Chill was talking about. Since then, there hasn't been. The only time the EuroLeague teams have ever played NBA teams have been exhibition games. The most recent one that I remember, that was a big deal, was when Luka came and played OKC in 2017. The biggest, oh my God, was when Barcelona beat the Lakers in 2010. But exhibition games. When it was actually competitive games that Chill's alluding to, yes, there was a world champion. We haven't had that in 30 years. Well, 25 years, whatever. We haven't had that in a long time. So if we wanted to actually get a world champion, that is what you would have to do. Even if we all know who was going to win. But that is what you would have to do.
It's the reason they abolished that, because it's
I'm not saying there isn't, Ron.
No, it's not, though, Ron. No, it is not.
If you Boston would win. Boston would undoubtedly win.
No one's saying they would. No, it wouldn't even be worth it. Chill. It would not be pointless.
And the reason why it's not pointless, you thinking about it just from a wins and losses aspect. It's not pointless because it also expands the game. The fact that if you could see the Boston Celtics in Paris. If you could see the Boston Celtics
we're seeing them in Paris.
If you could see them in Serbia,
no, you're seeing Jason Tatum and Derek White.
Right, that's the point. If you could see Joker in
the Finals MVP.
If you could see Joker in Barcelona, Spain with the Denver Nuggets, I mean, how big of a deal would that be? Not just for the NBA, but for international kids who are coming up watching the NBA who want to be a part of that. And now you're adding that to the NBA. I think that's a huge deal, not just for marketing, not just for the NBA, but for the world. I'm not just looking at it from the aspect of just wins and losses, where we can settle this debate of who the world champion is. We already seen that. We already seen the McDonald's Open.
Me and you would enjoy that. Mars might enjoy that. Ox will probably watch the second quarter of it and be uninterested. Swiper would enjoy it. I'm telling you, nobody, everybody outside of the hardcore basketball fans would hate that. Because it would literally be Boston going over there and dog wiping everybody. And then it would just be like, all right, what's the point of this?
And guess
then
what happens?
We would
And
probably do it for two. We probably do it for 2 years, and then after that, it would get abolished again.
Which, think about this for a second, Ron. How did we get to where we are here with the international play? Well, the reason why we got here is because what happened in 1992, you saw the talent, and we never seen anything like that collectively. Now the world sees that, and okay, now we got to pick our game up. So if you bring the Boston Celtics to Munich, Germany, and they end up playing for the first time, so now we start doing that more often. Teams like the EuroLeague team, like the Spanish League team, like the Australian League champion, they start to get better because we're more prepared for this now than we were when you first started it 15 years ago. So I think it would definitely be a good thing.
Well, to be fair, Denver's
things.
playing Boston in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai twice this year for preseason. So they are doing it. It's just NBA versus NBA now.
Yeah,
Right.
Chill. It's just the separation is just 2 different levels. And also, too, what you were saying with the whole country catching up is different than a whole league catching up. Like the NBA is just a superior league. With the inferior country, like their country can get better. But here's the thing about it.
When the players get better from that country, they go to the NBA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not
like you're
like
upholding the
yeah.
Serbian league. Jokic left the Serbian league to go to the league, the NBA. So the NBA has the best players because they take the best players from around the world and bring them to the NBA. And then the other leagues have lesser players. That's why the Boston Celtics are the best team in the world. But unfortunately, if you want to be world champions, you got to do the stuff that you probably don't want to do. But hey, that's just how it works.
So you got Partizan, which is in Belgrade, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Partizan in Belgrade was able to put Jokic and Bogey on their team, then it would be a completely different story.
They'd be the
Kinda
Serbian
like the
national
Olympics.
team.
Well,
they'd be the Serbian
You know,
national
so
team.
it's like you can't just take a specific team in the Serbian league and then try to put them against a specific team in the NBA, because it's not only is it a watered down version of Serbia, but it's the talent is dispersed. So it's like it's just it would be I like the concept of it. It just wouldn't be competitive. But we got my man John D up here. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? How y'all
What
doing?
up, brother?
Cool,
Hello.
cool. I got a question to you right from the top. Boston Celtics, NBA champions or world champions?
Well, like I said, it is pretty simple. I mean, the Boston Celtics are NBA champions because they have not played the talent around the world as a collective Boston Celtics team. We know that they have the talent to beat the teams around the world, but have they done it? No, they are NBA champions. I think they're good enough to be world champions, but we just have not seen it happen. And I think, Chill, you made a very good point by saying, after a while, these countries are going to be like, okay, we know what we're going against. We're going to get better every single year, kind of like how we're seeing the gap close in the Olympics. Every single season, they're going to get better. They're going to know what to go against, and they're going to bring in better talent.
Ron, you think that we would just keep dog walking teams for like the next 30 years? Like it wouldn't be a question of if whether whomever the NBA champion is, they would just keep just destroying teams in Europe, and it wouldn't be close continuously
forever because they get our leftovers. And I'm not saying this in a nasty way. I don't want to downgrade their level of basketball. I don't want to downgrade the players that are over there. But if those players over there could play in the NBA, more than likely they would play in the NBA. Let's look at the EuroLeague MVP from 2 years ago, Sasha Vezenkov. He came over here to the NBA, played for the Sacramento Kings, didn't have the best experience. Why? Because he couldn't get off the bench. He got traded to the Toronto Raptors, said, I don't want to play for Toronto. I want to go back to Greece. So he went back to Greece. He's playing for Olympiacos again. He's the former EuroLeague champion or EuroLeague MVP. He's going to be playing in the EuroLeague again, and he's probably going to be a top 3 player in the EuroLeague. But we all know that if he came over here on any team, he more than likely wouldn't even be a top 3 player on that team. And we can go any team. And I like Sasha a lot. But so if he can't be a top 3 player on a team over here.
Good to see you, Swipe. Good to see you, brother.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
If he can't be a top 3 player on a team over here, but be a top 3 player in the league over there, it just shows you the talent disparity and the gap.
There is a talent disparity, but I mean, single game elimination, anything can happen. In football, there is a Club World Cup. So there are world champions for clubs in football.
Sure.
The last 10 years, a European team has won because obviously Europe has all the best talent in football. I'm not going to bore you with listing a bunch of teams that won. you could just take my word. European teams win because, respectfully, South America, Asia, Africa, all these continents, all of their best players go play in Europe, just like the NBA. But in 2012, a Brazilian team won. Does that mean in 2012 that they were better than Chelsea? No, because Chelsea was the European representation. No, but they won. Single game elimination. Anything can happen. I'm just saying, if you want to be called world champions and it be objectively true, you would have to go through the tedious process of playing against teams that are clearly inferior to you. If you want it to be objectively true, that is what you would have to do. If you don't want it to be objectively true and you just want to start arguing and be like, well, we are the best team in the world, so we are the world champions. If you want to do that, then yeah, you can do that. But you will be wrong. That's what I'm saying. But you can do that if you want. But it's wrong.
I want to put this quote on the screen as well. You guys can see it. It's from a guy on Twitter. I don't know who he is, but his name is Mike McDaniel. He said, let me zoom in for y'all. He said, people are saying NBA champs aren't the world champs. So hilarious because the Celtics would dead ass 70 ball any other team in the world, not in the US.
They probably
but unless we have an actual competition like we had years ago, theoretically, they're not the world champions. They're just the best team in the NBA, which is the best league in the world. So
you can call them the best team in the world if you want to.
I wouldn't argue if you said the Celtics were the best team.
I call them the best team in the world too.
I think they're the best team. I do think that. But theoretically, you can say that they're not, off the strength that they didn't beat the EuroLeague champion. They didn't beat the Spanish League champion. They didn't beat the French League champion. Like Noah Lyles beat the fastest runner from Jamaica. He beat the fastest sprinter from Italy. He beat the fastest sprinter from Germany. So he beat all of these guys. So I could say I'm the fastest man on the planet. However, until they do it, I mean, however, what I mean when I say however, if you look at the Boston Celtics, it'd be pretty difficult for me to think that there's a team in the world that they couldn't beat.
They'll
the
win.
World champions.
Yeah, they're the best team in the world. You can call them the best team in the world,
yes.
But once again, that's a subjective term. Best in the world is always subjective, whether it's NBA players, NBA teams, the best player ever. Is it MJ? Is it LeBron? Is it Kareem? All subjective terms. But calling someone a world champion, not a subjective term. That's the difference. I can call someone the best. I think Jokic is the best player in the world. That's subjective, debatable. We can have the conversation.
Sure.
But if I were to say Jokic is the world champion of basketball players for some weird reason, that would be a lie. That's all it is. It's just truth versus subjectivity. Objective reality versus opinion.
When you talk about being a world champion, Omar's, I think that where the divide is the word world champion and how it's being used. And I understand your logic with becoming a world champion. Okay, I'm running in the world championships as opposed to running in the Olympics. And I understand the definition, right? I do get that part. But I think the divide is, with me, I hold the Olympics in a little bit higher of a regard because I feel like it's the best in the world. And you could very well take world champion and put that on there, and it still means the same thing. I'm the best in the world.
I think I hold the Olympics in high regard too, but once again, objective.
I don't hold it in the high regard, Moss. I hold it in the highest regard.
Me too. Well, for certain sports, for athletics, yes. For basketball, no. I think the NBA is the highest regard I hold anything.
No, that's different.
For football, I hold the World Cup in higher regard than the Olympics. Like, it depends on the sport. But for athletics, track and field, like all of those events, swimming, Olympics I hold that in the highest regard. But objectively, they have world championships in those sports, and that's how you become world champion. I just think being an Olympic champion would mean more than being a world champion in those sports, in my opinion. That's just how I value it. But once again, objectively, world champion, Olympic champion, not always the same person. They aren't the same thing. They're two different things.
Right. All right, fellas. I want to encourage everybody in the chat. Go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe. Continue to turn up in the comments. Salute to everybody that sent through a super chat. We're going to get to those in just a second. And also, you guys know I can't go this far without shouting out our Hall of Famers. We got Dorian Clayton, Kendall Daniels, Cobra Son of Raditz, and Multi Kenny. Salute to them fellas. And also, too, we got this little debate league. It's called the PCL. We got good guys like John D. We got better guys like Pirate. We got guys that get cooked like, well, you would just have to pull up. I'm not going to mention no names. But It's every Wednesday and it's every Sunday. You can see on the banner right below Chill and Ox. Tomorrow, Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. You'll see guys come up and compete for this very belt right here. And compete for a nice cash prize. And like how Chill said, we are looking for not a PCL champion, but a world champion of the PCL debate
heavyweight
league.
champion of the world.
Of the world, Chill.
Yes, sir.
John D, you had your first matchup this last Sunday against Penn. How'd you feel about that experience?
Before you go, John D, I know one thing is a fact. I know Ox ain't come up here. Ain't nobody else hungry. I guess he the only one hungry. I'm sick of Ox, yo. This is what I'm talking about. Ain't nobody else hungry.
Crash out on him, Chill.
With Ox. This is the kind of that I be talking about with Ox. Ox. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ox, man. Ox.
Chill. It's 9 o'clock over here. I'm just trying to put, need some.
He ain't asked you if you was hungry, Mars. Pass you nothing. He ain't cooked you nothing. He asked me if I was hungry. Ain't bring me nothing. No, he just gonna. Thanks, Ox. I appreciate you, brother. So if I pass out, don't worry about it. Ain't got nothing to do with the fact that my blood sugar low or something like that. No, it ain't got nothing to do with it.
France are up 13-5, by the way.
Already? The game started?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thanks for setting me with that one, Mars. I didn't know what to say.
I got you.
Don't let him off the hook. I won't let him off the hook, Mars. Y'all let me off the hook. I'm sorry. Continue.
Based off my first matchup against Penn, I mean, I felt like I did a good job preparing, but one thing I did was I mixed up my arguments. So I had a different argument for each round, and I put it all in one round, when I was like flustered or trying to, get my points up to maybe sway their attention my way to get a W. But I mixed my arguments together, and that's one thing that I look at and be like, I got to do better.
You think Derrick Rose is better than Russell Westbrook?
I can't go against Chicago. It's just not me. It's just not me.
I respect it.
It's just not me.
You knew you were fighting from a losing position when you
Yeah. Okay. I called my little brother and told him, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be fighting for Derrick Rose. He called me an idiot.
Don't do that. It's your little brother telling you, don't do that.
I do think you did good though. I do think you did good.
I appreciate
that. That was just a tough topic to win. Penn got away with a couple of lies that I ain't like, but other than that,
damn.
When he said the Showtime Lakers beat Moses and Dr. J, they got swept. I don't know how that just got swept under the rug, but there was some other things that were definitely not true, but I can't remember them. That one is the one that was just really stuck in my head because I know that wasn't true. But
Mars, you didn't call that in the chat. That's so unlike you.
I did.
Oh, okay.
What
of course I did.
Mars, the Showtime Lakers did beat Dr. J. Beat him twice, of course, until he got
Moses.
Yeah, not Moses. No.
Yeah, he said
Moses.
no. They said and Dr. J and Moses on the Sixers.
No,
they got swept. Yeah, they beat the Sixers. Yeah, they beat the Sixers when Dr. J was there before Moses. Yeah, 81 and
that's just not true.
No, not 81.
82.
82. Thank you.
Yeah, 80 and 82. They beat them.
There you go. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, Cat.
Gabe texted me during the battle. He said Penn literally lied that the Lakers got swept by the Suns when they lost in 6.
Oh, that was the other one. Yeah, he said after the bubble championship, he said they got swept the next year. They didn't. They were up 2-1 before AD went down. Yeah, that one too. Thank you. Yeah, that one reminds me. Yeah.
See, that's why we need legit judges that can catch things like that. Because the other debater might not be able to, but you will get docked points. You know how like in a boxing match where if you
hit below the belt.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The ref might not catch it, but the other people
judges saw it.
Yeah.
Then he bringing up OG Anunoby as depth from the 19 Raptors when he ain't even playing the playoffs because he was hurt. Yeah, there was a couple little sneaky things from Penn I ain't like. But yeah.
With that being said, though, salute to Penn for cooking low last night. I was world class.
I watched that whole thing. I ain't gonna lie.
I watched it this morning. I left some of my thoughts.
Mars, that wasn't the graveyard shift. It was Ox Court.
Which is the graveyard shift.
Yeah, call it what you want. I watched it this morning. It was I had to watch it on.
I'm saying we can't call the world champs, NBA champs, and we can't call the graveyard shift Ox Court.
No, wrong. Actually, we can because it's the graveyard shift.
Well, I mean,
you can tell the owner of the channel.
It's a special iteration.
He always think he runs something, Mars.
It's a special
that's crazy.
iteration.
That's crazy.
But let's
look,
talk. Let's
Hey,
you know.
Ox, me and Tay Luke can do what we want to do because me and Tay Luke are on a different level when it comes to just being knowledgeable about things. All right, in your heart of hearts, you know that the grave shit is not Oxford, and Oxford is not the graveyard shit. You know that.
Is he trying to involve you in that, Ox? And you didn't even bring him in there?
Tay Luke up here.
Yeah, here go. 16-5. 16-5.
Ron an instigator, bro.
Yeah, France is up 16-5.
But Ox, would you like to speak on what happened last night, briefly?
I was just doing my job, bro. I didn't expect it to turn into a full-blown debate. You know, I was just, you know, it went somewhere I didn't know it was going to go. And shout out to Low and Penn, driving them numbers up, talking hoop. And I'm not here to talk about who got cooked. Y'all decide that.
There's some very clear disdain between those two. Very, very.
Yeah, they clearly don't like each other, and that's good for Ox Court. That's good for the graveyard shit. You know what I'm saying?
When
like
condescension meets condescension, there's a clash usually. So
right,
I think
it
that's
was the battle of who can speak down on the other more. It was really interesting.
I'm almost positive that's why Low didn't join the PCL because I showed him his bracket had Penn, and I think he was just kind of ducking that. And on top of that, too, obviously, John D, this is how you got in here because Low was scared to join, or I don't want to say scared. He politely declined, not in a sassy manner. He politely declined, but maybe he didn't want to be in the division with Penn, Swiper, and Gifted as well. But John D, you have a match coming up against Gifted. How do you feel about that?
I think the topics are great. I think there are some things that I can be able to look at and have a better chance of winning this week. I think Gifted is very knowledgeable when it comes to the game, and I'm just looking forward to having a good time.
Okay.
These topics are very interesting.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know who you have on each topic, so I can't speak, but I do think some of them are going to be interesting to debate for. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
100%.
Yeah, I got a bye week this week. I'm just chilling.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just chilling this week.
Yeah, I got to recover from the beatdown.
I feel like I feel like I've been in recovery for like the past 2 weeks. I'm like, damn, am I ever gonna get a chance to redeem myself after getting my ass kicked like that?
Who's your last matchup, Elder?
Elder, yeah. And I'm like, I've been in recovery for 2 months already. Ron, word on the street is that you don't mess with me, bro. I was just saying. I'm just saying. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I'm just telling you what the people telling me. They're trying to draw a divide, a wedge between us in the comments. They're saying that you're really not my man.
Hey, well, please don't take me to Ox Court. I would hate to be found guilty.
We can. We ain't got to go to Ox Court. Let's settle this right now. Ron, is this your man? Yes or no? We can settle this right here, right now. Ron, what is this your man? Yes or no?
No doubt. You gotta wait.
I think we got to see it in Ox Court. If I'm honest, we need the clips. We need all the evidence. That's what we need.
Ox, please don't. I beg of you.
Yeah, send us.
I gotta wait till we get into the meat and potatoes before I can start rigging things for my man Big Ox.
If we get Ox in if we get Ron in Ox Court, we might be sending Ron to the penitentiary because it might look real tricky.
Yeah, he for sure guilty.
It might start looking real tricky for Ron.
Here's my thing: is maybe we just slept on that division. Maybe we just we definitely underestimated Casual.
No, not
like
we.
it or not.
Ox did. Casual, the best person in that group.
I still do.
See, that's the problem. Casual gonna finish top of that group.
After he smoked you like that?
And he gonna go all the way to the finals.
I still do, Chill.
And Ron, this is what I'm talking about, Ron. When I talk about this being your man, okay, Ron, please don't tell me Ox is the dude. After we wipe the floor with y'all, he won't get off the court.
Chill. He just
told you. Get swept and say, "Nah, I'm not me." So like, come on,
get off the court, Ox.
It's
get
even
off
worse
the floor.
than that. Let's take it outside of basketball. Ox told you he the dude that's getting his lights knocked out, and he's still talking shit. Oh, that's how hard you hit. Boom. Oh, you hit like my little sister. Boom. Oh.
Ox, get off the court, Ox.
You know, like
get off the court.
Ox, that type of dude.
That's
and see you the next. See you the next day and spit at your feet and say, "I'll beat your ass again." And you just got beat up yesterday.
Yo, Chill. I'm the type you got. I'm the type you got to pack me out every time you see me.
Oh my god, this is what it's gonna be every time I see this dude. So okay, this is what it is. Okay, we gotta deal with him again. No problem. And then and then we'll bounce you off the court. Get off the court, Ox, every day. And we putting the word out that you a sucker too, because you won't get off the court. We putting the word out.
I'll be back.
Putting the word out. Yo, this dude, every time he lose, like he won't get off the court. He throwing bottles on the court. Get off the court, Ox.
I would definitely be back.
All right, y'all. Well, tomorrow on the PCL, we have Hayes versus Dion to kick things off. OG the Beast versus Casual, and Chill versus Jack Cody to wrap things up. So that's what we're looking at tomorrow. Y'all be there or be square. All right. Moving along in our topics. As of right now, France is playing Canada. So you guys keep that in the back of your mind, or watch it and still listen to this, or listen to this and or watch this and listen to that. However, but we will be giving you guys updates. Shea going downhill.
He missed.
Damn. Yeah. Shout out France, man. A lot of people. Wait, you guys chose Canada to win?
Everyone had Canada. The poll in the chat earlier had Canada 75%. So if the chat start lying, I've seen the poll. Everyone had Canada. All of us.
All right. Well, shout out to France getting out to an early lead. We will see how this will transpire. But moving along, we got some more Olympic stuff to get into as well. Also, too, USA will be playing in a little bit. So you guys stay tuned to that. We'll obviously have a lot to talk about that. Not today, but potentially tomorrow. Well, definitely tomorrow when you guys catch us on the panel. But let me go ahead and throw this quote on the screen from an NBA Hall of Famer, a personality that you guys have grown to love, and somebody who, for the most part, will always tell the harsh truth, whether you like it or not. My man Charles Barkley had this to say about Team USA and specifically an individual. He said this, y'all. He said, I think one of the reasons he's always injured, I think that's one of the reasons he's always injured. I don't think he's good enough, or he's in good enough shape. You got to be a little bit embarrassed by the way you've played. Talking about Joel Embiid. Should Joel be embarrassed by the way he's been playing in the Olympics?
He actually doesn't look like he's in that bad of shape. And don't forget, he did come to camp. I believe it was in the beginning of the 21-22 season. That was 2 seasons ago. He did come to camp. He was 20 pounds lighter than what he was the year before. And he still ended up getting hurt. I don't think that this is a situation with Joel Embiid about him not being in shape. He just made a glass. That's really the issue. More than anything, he was broken when he came into the league. He's been broken throughout the course of his career, and it's just getting compounded because he's getting older. It's not because he's not in great shape. I don't think that you can play being that big and not be in great shape. I mean,
right. Were you done, Chip?
Yes.
I for anybody out there, if you got young kids, you know what I'm saying, 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years old, when you come home, the thing kids like to do, they like to jump on your leg, sit on your foot and hang on, and, got to walk around the house with them for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Give them a couple minutes of just walking around, sitting on my foot for a minute. You can't play basketball like that.
Respect the leg brace. Respect the leg brace.
You can't hoop like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about feeling embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I don't know. Maybe Joel just is one of those guys that, like, I have a sense of pride that I'm gonna always play. I'm gonna play. Well, you're gonna be 60 one day, Joel. Like,
yes, you are.
Sit down, bro, because when that leg lock up and you can't bend it, and you know what I'm saying, you gotta walk with a limp. Like, that's not a good way to live your life. For what? It's not worth it, Joel. That's just my personal opinion, and I've been saying this for about 2 years now, publicly on the panel. Like, it's just not worth it. There is life after basketball, and so I'm not sure about feeling embarrassed, but I'm just really here to keep saying the same thing. I know I sound like a broken record. Just sit down, please.
I can appreciate the quality of life after basketball, but when you're talking about that kind of legacy, when you're talking about that kind of money, I mean, it's hard to sit down. It is. It's hard to sit down considering that, I'm trying to make enough money that, my people's just like, when I ain't around no more, like, they can't screw this up. They cannot screw this money up. So that's the cost of it. Now, if
is that this summer though, Chill? This summer is this a part of that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you it's throughout the course of my career, I've been broken, and this is the price that I'm going to have to pay. Now, when I'm 55 and I don't walk so well, would that have been worth it to make sure that my people were straight? To be honest with you, Ox, yeah, it was. It was definitely worth it. Because, I mean, one day I'm not going to be around no more. But to know that I was able to make sure that my people didn't have to worry about anything financially, it was worth it. 100%.
Yeah, but I think as the 30-year-old, I think he's jeopardizing that this summer. This is because I don't feel like this is his last contract. I think he could. I don't know how much. What he got? 3 years left on this one.
2 more years left on this deal.
Only 2.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He could potentially have another max contract after this. So I feel like playing this summer is even jeopardizing that.
He said that. He ended up saying, Ox. He ended up saying that. What did he say? Oh, he said that he still got 6 or 7 more years to win an NBA championship. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you do not. Because I do not think he's going to hold up for 6 or 7 more years. I don't. But maybe
those last couple of playoffs, and maybe he should have sat those out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Maybe you should have sat these Olympics out, and then I'll be like, you know what, Joel, you're in the pool, you're in shape, you lost 20 pounds, you lost 30 pounds, you slimmed down, you're still strong. Joel could lose 20, 25, 30 pounds and still be extremely strong, still be heavy on the block, might be even a little quicker coming off the, attacking the basket off the mid range. That's all I'm saying. I think that he should probably be focused on, treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like doing whatever it is they do, and they take the plasma out, they shake it up, put it back in, do all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Getting in the pool, doing Pilates and yoga.
But that's what I was asking
like
you, though. Sure. And that's what I was asking you, Ox. Do you think that with him, and I'm asking you specifically, Ox, do you think that Joel Embiid playing in the NBA, not just playing in the NBA, playing for the Sixers, which I think is a first-class organization, playing for the Sixers, that they're not doing everything possible to make sure that he's healthy, to make sure that he's on the floor, not getting him the best doctors, giving him the best treatment? They got tubs, ice tubs. He's probably got a masseuse that's on staff because, I mean, Shaq had that. That was in 2000. The dude would actually come to the hotel for Shaq. He would actually come to the hotel and do it right there. So, and we're talking about 25 years later. I mean, what kind of technology do they have for Joel Embiid? So I'm sure that they're doing the best that they can to take care of him to ensure that he'll be healthy as he possibly can. You can't control how your body is going to react to injury. Joel Embiid was broke before he came into the league. He was broken since he's been in the league, and they're just doing their best to maintain.
That's the problem right there, Chill. I think that's the issue, and that's a Western medicine thing.
Yeah,
we do that. We maintain instead of preventative. You know what I'm saying? Why not take preventative measures where we give I know I'm just talking about maybe this summer isn't enough time, but I think you can prolong this man's career if you were to not play right now and let's just focus on your body, getting your joints stronger, getting working on your what you call it, your hamstrings, your all of it. We're strengthening your upper legs, we're strengthening your calf muscles, we're strengthening all the joints around your knee.
Right.
We're not gonna be running around on the hardwood all summer. You're not even gonna Joel's skill set is there.
Right.
I'm personally saying that this might sound ignorant, but you're not even on the court this summer at all. You're not running on the hardwood. Right. You're in the pool. You know what I'm saying? We're clean. We're going in. We're cleaning up all the gunk, all the nasty stuff on your knee. We're getting that out of there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're gonna have you on the table, massages like you said. But I really think he should be on some Pilates type stuff, yoga, doing those balance workouts, strengthening his joints. That's what I think. I think he could lose. He could stand to lose 20, 30 pounds, and then maybe he will have 6, 7 years to win a championship. But at this rate, I don't see Joel playing past 34.
Now, hold that thought right quick, Chill. France is up 23-10 at the end of the first quarter. They are dominating the paint. And RJ Barrett's guarding Wemby. That's that. Proceed,
killing him. So, Ox, you brought up a real interesting point about him not being on the floor. Well, We've seen that over the last couple of years where he sat out. How's that worked out for him? It hasn't. Maybe this him playing and his body getting used to being not necessarily in pain, but playing through injury. Maybe getting his body to be more acclimated to playing through stress, to actually see, even though he's already broken, we already know that, right? But maybe him playing a little bit more, maybe this over the summer will actually be good for him because they're going to manage him as much as they can during the regular season next year. I already know that. He's going to break down, but with him playing this summer, his body will be more acclimated to playing through injury, playing through pain, because he hasn't had to do that in the past. What they've done is exactly what you talked about, Ox. I'm sure that they've sat him down for stretches. Not only have they sat him down for stretches, I'm sure that they've done stretching, Pilates, things like that to strengthen him, which would explain why he showed up to camp 20 pounds light. I think it was 2 seasons ago. And I think that was the year that he was up for league MVP. But when you are in a situation where I'm already broken, there's nothing really that I can do about that except manage it and maintain however much I can as far as I can. So if I got a guy like Joel Embiid, who I know he's got foot problems, okay, I'm going to run him as much as I can until he doesn't. I'm going to run him to the point where he's used to not breaking. He'll be beat up, but he's not breaking, and he'll get his body used to that.
I'm no doctor, I'm no physician, so I can't pretend. I can't say whether or not that works. And with all due respect, Chill, I do think that's more of like an old school way of looking at it. You know what I mean? Like I was brought up on that too. Like we're gonna go. And if we're gonna go until to that point. And I mean, I think that might be.
That's what
I didn't know. I think that's why my ankles and knees is messed up right now. You know what I mean? Like it's and so that's. But I can't say once again. Like I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. But I just don't think that's. And you know what? It could be he could already have had his diagnosis. They might have already said, "Yo, Joel, ain't nothing we can do for you. Just rock." You know what I'm saying? Right. We can't fix this. If it might be one of those type of situations where it's pain tolerance. Like we can't fix it. It's not getting much worse. But if you can play through it, then go ahead. And if that's one of those things, then by all means keep going, Joel. I'm sure nobody's trying to be to be detrimental to his career. I'm sure nobody's trying to hurt him. I'm sure his camp has his best. His best in mind. So, that's just how I look at it. I'm like, man, get off the court, lose a little weight, get stronger. But if he's tried that and it doesn't work, then by all means, Joel, keep cooking, do your thing.
Ox, I'm disappointed in you.
Why?
And I know another guy will be up here standing on business. His name starts with a T and it ends with a T.
Just say his name, bro.
He would be up here standing on business, letting you know that for the love of the game, Joel needs to be out there. That people lost their legs, arms, lives, died on this court.
We talking about World War II? We talking about basketball?
I mean, essentially, yeah. But all in all,
that sound like Vietnam, bro. What you
do y'all think he's benefiting his team by playing in the Olympics this summer, though?
I do not.
I really don't think so, because when
if I'm Paul George, I'm pissed, bro.
Yeah, it's like the 76ers have put the talent around Joel Embiid. They've constantly done it, and it's for him to come into the regular season and not be able to play the certain amount of games or be banged up when it comes to time to play in the playoffs. So I feel as though playing in the Olympics is like you're just giving it a bigger chance for it to happen again this season, and the 76ers window keeps closing more and more every offseason. So how is he really benefiting the team if he's playing when he just was limping through the first round?
Right. So with everything that you just said, we already seen him out of the lineup, right? We've already seen him out of the lineup. So to Ox's point, okay, we're not going to pick up a basketball the whole summer. What's going to happen when he does break down? He is going to break down. We already know that. But there's a chance that he might not. If I'm not mistaken, what do y'all call Anthony Davis? Y'all call him day-to-day Davis? If I'm not mistaken, last season, I think he was in the top 10 in the league in minutes. And that's largely due to him taking care of his body, playing a lot in the summer, lifting a lot, getting himself in better shape. Joel Embiid, in this particular situation, I feel like he needs to be on the floor to get his body more acclimated to playing through not just injury, but through pain and being more used to that. So that way, when we get late into the season, okay, I'm more prepared for that. Anthony Edwards already said that. I wasn't prepared to play this late in the season. I think that has a lot to do with Joel Embiid. He wasn't prepared to play. Most of these guys that play in the Olympics, when we have the season going on, most of these guys that play the next season, they get busy. And I think this is going to be a good thing for Joel Embiid because he's going to break down anyway. So if we can prolong that, maybe possibly for as long as we can, and maybe he can play through some of these injuries that he wouldn't be able to because he didn't play at all or he wasn't doing anything, this would be a good thing for him.
So obviously, Charles Barkley said what he said. And I think this could potentially, and you guys let me know, I think this could potentially be a case of right message, wrong messenger. Because if you guys remember, Charles Barkley struggled with weight issues too and being out of shape and things of that nature. Do you guys think that Charles Barkley was spitting right here, or do you think that he should be telling Joel about this type of stuff?
Wouldn't that make it the right messenger?
Because he's been through it?
Yeah.
Take that, Ron.
Who better hear about crack from a crackhead? Who better than
That's exactly. That's what I always say. That if a crackhead tell you don't smoke crack, you shouldn't be like, I'm gonna smoke crack because I'm not listening to no crackhead. Like, nah. If a fat boy tell me to stop eating Twinkies, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe I should chill out on the Twinkies. I should probably chill out, yo, because that's
y'all remember though. Charles Barkley told that story about Moses when he got to the league and how he was like, "No, you need to lose 10 pounds here. Now you need to lose 10 pounds." And he told him how that changed this whole game and how we got so dominant. Like Charles had a good stint of his career where he was in amazing shape.
From like 88 to like 94, I would say he had a 6-year stretch where he was absolutely awesome, which Mars, it correlates with what we was talking about with Australia and Serbia. If you look at that 24-point lead and that's all you see, okay, we're dead. But if you start chipping away at it and you look at it differently, like, okay, we're not down 24. If we could just go on a 6-0 run, and then that 6-0 run turns into 12-0, and then that 12-0 run turns into 16. Okay, we're right back in it. Same logic with Charles. Okay, so Charles was at 280. So instead of telling him to lose 50 pounds, okay, Charles, I need you to lose 10 pounds. And then that 280 turns into 270. Charles, I need you to lose 5 more pounds. That 270 280 turns into 275. Then it turns into 265. Next thing you know, I'm feeling better. I'm jumping higher, and it turns into 250 where now I'm elite. If you look at it, instead of I got to climb this mountain, instead of I only got to get to here. And once I get to here, I don't have to go all the way from the bottom to the top. I just got to go from here to the top now. So I just think it's a different aspect when you look at it like that.
So
I agree. Small steps.
John.
Yeah.
Should Joel Embiid be embarrassed by his play in the Olympics?
I don't think he should be embarrassed in the end of the day because injuries are something you just can't control. You know, if he's coming into the Olympics and he's not 100%, there's not really much he can do with that. And this is his first time being in an Olympic setting with these set of players. I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed about, in my opinion.
But you do think he could play better?
I do think he could play better, but there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
But it's also no excuses why he's not playing better, though.
No excuses. I wouldn't say there's absolutely no excuses.
I don't know
but
about
it's
that,
just
Ron.
like,
I don't know if we're doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
What's the excuse?
Well, when you're on a crew like this, one, I'm going to play limited amount of minutes. 2, the offense doesn't run through me, so I got to change my game completely. So I'm used to touching the ball every trip. I'm used to being the focal point of the offense. So now I'm not the focal point of the offense. Now I got to do other stuff way more than what I would have to do if I wasn't playing here. If I'm not mistaken, did Paul George not tell us, now I got to do more of the dirty work. Now I got to do more of the other stuff. Well, it's obvious what he doesn't want to do. So now if I'm on the Olympic team, now I got to do that, right? And it's going to make my game look different because I'm playing. I'm not just sacrificing because I'm on the Olympic team. I'm on a crew with ballers, and they got to do it too, Ron. It's not like I'm the only one that got to do it. Steph Curry got to sacrifice shots. Bam got to sacrifice shots. James got to sacrifice shots. Anthony Edwards got to sacrifice shots. So,
but is that things that they can't do or they don't want to do? Like the dirty work, like for Paul George, is it that he can't do it or he just doesn't want to do it?
To be honest with you, Ox, I think that's where the separation is with a lot of these guys. Carmelo Anthony was a prime example of that, where he could have probably benefited from coming off the bench a little bit earlier, but he wasn't trying to hear that. No, I'm not, and it kind of screwed him up.
I think that's what's going to go on with Bradley Beal and the Suns this season. I mean, I think the Phoenix Suns have a better lineup with Bradley Beal coming off the bench, but he's a $50 million player. This is a guy that's led the league in scoring. He's not going to want to come off the bench, even though it would better the team, you know? So we see that a lot with
players. I hate those type of players.
Yeah, it's just it's really, I don't think it's talked about enough how much or how much credit players should get for having to switch their role on the fly or not really go into a team and play the way they've been playing previously for like the past 6 or 7 years, the way they have to come into a team. And now instead of being a 25-10 guy, maybe I'm probably going to drop down to 17-8. And maybe I play better in the paint. Maybe I rebound the ball better, all for the betterment of the team. And I don't think that's talked about enough.
I don't, John. I hate to sound like one of these guys. I hate to sound like the old head I am, John. You don't deserve no credit for doing that. No credit. You don't deserve credit for doing what you got to do for your team to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you're supposed to do. You are a part of this team. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to do what you got to do. Now, obviously, no. I tried to sugarcoat it. I can't sugarcoat it. Do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do to win. If you're one of the players, if you would rather finish this game or this season, I'm sorry. What is it? 30-52 because you have to play. I need to start. I can't play good off the bench. Can we just cut these guys? Get him out your facility. Leave. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Bradley Beal's one of those type of guys. I hope he's not because I've always been a Bradley Beal fan. But if it turns out this season that he's telling Bud, if you bring me off the bench, or I'm causing problems if you bring me off the bench, then they need to cut his ass right now. I'm talking about eat that $50 million. I don't care what you got to do. Get him out of there. He's a cancer. He's toxic. Get him out the way. That's not a sack. It's not. I guess you can call it a sacrifice, but to me, it's just like you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Well, they're two different things, though, Ox, because when I'm early in my career, I'm not trying to win. And the reason why I'm not trying to win is because I don't know any better. I want to prove that I can stick. So I want to show as a player that I belong. So, yeah, in the process of that, we might go 30-52. We might go, 35 and 41, something like that. We might do that. So the idea of sacrificing early, I'm trying to show that I am a good enough player that I can play in the NBA. Well, as time goes on, and I realize, and people realize that now I can play, then the sacrifice now has to come in because it's more important.
Isn't that how you show you can play, Chill? I feel like you show you can play. But you want me to be a starting shooting guard? Cool. I can come out here and average 24 right now. Penn. Right. I can come out here and be a starting two guard. I can average 24, 4, and 4 and play really good perimeter defense if that's what you need. All you need me to be the 6th or 7th man off the bench? Fine. I can come out here and be a spark plug. I can come out here into the middle of the second. I can give you a quick 10 points in the second quarter. I can average 16, 3 and 3.
But see, I'm not thinking about that early.
Everything you need. I can do anything you need me to do.
That's a fair assessment early. I mean, that's a fair assessment later on. Early on in my career, I'm really not trying to hear that. I'm trying to show that I can stick. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay, what's gonna help me stick here? When I'm 21, 22 years old, and I've been nothing but a bucket getter from high school to college, now I'm coming into the league. That's going to be my mentality. I'm not thinking, okay, I'm going to turn myself into a lockdown defender. I'm going to turn myself into more of a distributor. I'm going to turn into something more for the unit. I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking you drafted me because I'm a bucket getter, so that's what I have to do. Now later,
that's what's wrong, and that's what's wrong with the NBA.
Maybe.
And that's why the NBA is going to shit.
All right, y'all. Right now, France is trying to make a comeback. They are down 30-20. SGA just hit a pull-up jumper after getting a steal. So we'll see. It's halfway through the second quarter, five minutes left to go. So we will see how this goes right now. I see some of you guys in the chat are talking down on Rudy Gobert because he came off the bench this game. Personally, I think it was a good coaching move. You have a team that's as small and quick as Canada. Can't have them picking on Rudy Gobert, but obviously it's paid off because they are up 30-20. So we will keep a close eye on this game. We have some more things to get to.
That's because Rudy's doing what it takes to win.
Rudy's not doing what it takes to win. The coach is doing what it takes to win.
Because Rudy coming off the bench, that's what it takes to win.
Rudy could have very well made us think about that. I ain't coming off no damn bench.
How do we know he didn't? We ain't heard the post game interview yet.
We
ain't seen the post game tweets.
I think it depends on body language.
Rudy could be tight right now.
Just be positive and just assume that he.
Because Joel Embiid did not look happy about sitting on the bench. He did not. Joel Embiid did not.
It
look
depends.
Happy. He
did Rudy look like Tyrese or did he look like Joel Embiid?
Right.
I think that's all you need to see.
I really do.
I do too, Ox.
Oh yeah, Chill definitely loves Rudy. I seen him capping on Pickersad's podcast about Rudy. I seen it. I seen the clip. Rudy has some of the highest field goal percentage seasons ever. Here we go, caping for his offense again. I was like, he hasn't learned. I guess. Cool.
Hey, man,
I was like, I don't want to bring it up, but I seen it. I'm like, he ain't learned.
When I shoot almost 70% from the floor, I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
Man, I wasn't trying to hear that. Oh, true.
Y'all make sure you slap that like button. Become a member if you haven't yet. And also, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody that's in here. Y'all already know the chat clears. I don't think I've said that yet this week. So let's get that out the way with. Y'all really hold it down and y'all clear. Undeniably. But we got super chat. So let me go ahead and do what I'm supposed to do. NY sent through a super chat and said, to Mars' point, also, there's a difference between club competitions and international competitions. You have to understand the difference.
Yeah. Most club competitions don't have world champions because they're clubs, but some do. So, yeah, definitely a difference.
JB Parisian said world champ is just a semantics thing. Even the European Football World Cup final stages are probably not as good as the UCL knockouts. World championships aren't the pinnacle of every sport.
I agree.
Moving along, DK sent through a super chat and said, one team from 4 combinations of continents, NBA/Americas, European, Australia/Asia, and Africa. KO games, semifinals and finals, 4 8-minute quarters to reduce injuries. Each year, one team from each continent.
Oh, Ox, here we go with that. Oh my God, that shit makes me crazy, man. I swear that makes me crazy. 4 8-minute quarters to reduce injury. If you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get hurt. What difference do it make? Give me a break, man.
I can't do 32 minutes. So we can't do the high school game. Yeah, we can't do high school. 12-minute quarters. That's beautiful basketball. That's so much time. And I need 12-minute quarters.
And you got a full roster too. Like, that doesn't mean just because if it's 32 minutes, you're gonna be more inclined to play your star players closer to 32 minutes. You're gonna be like, all right, well, you play 32 minutes in an NBA game, you might as well just play the full game now. Like, you still gonna play them the same amount of time. But appreciate the thought, DK. MP13 said, I don't think the muscles and joints are meant to be constantly stressed to this level constantly. Giannis, the last couple of years, has broken down in the playoffs too, and he's not labeled injury prone.
That's why they pay you the big bucks. For that reason right there, what you just said. That's why they pay you the big bucks, because you're right. The human body is, you see football. I am not designed to get crashed into at top speed. No, even with a helmet and shoulder pads on. No, I am not designed to do that. That's why I get paid $14 million. That's why I get paid $22. That's why I get paid $22 million. So yeah, that's why you get paid the big bucks you get paid.
All right, y'all. It looks like SGA is finally coming to life. Just hit a step back 3. So we'll see how that looks. MP13 with yet another super chat. He said, my favorite thing from the Olympic run is everyone finally seeing how all-time great AD looks defensively when he's not the only player who's capable on that end of the court. It's been amazing to see.
Yes, it is. Yes, it has.
Anthony Davis, one of them ones. I don't know what it is. Some people think he's not a top 75 player to ever play basketball. I mean, a shout out to you. But he's undoubtedly one of the best players we've had in recent times. And, him being hurt on the Lakers, playing next to LeBron, got him a unfair reputation. People were saying Karl Anthony Towns is better than him. I'll never forgive them for that. So, Anthony Davis he's one of them ones. Defensively, he's been like that. The fact he has no defensive player of the year means he might be forgotten in history because he has none. But anyone who's watched Anthony Davis will understand he's really, 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 really good at basketball.
Mars, though, would he, when you say he might be forgotten in NBA history as a defender, would he be, considering, Tim Duncan never won Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's a top 10 defender all time, maybe even top 5. Scottie Pippen never won Defensive Player of the Year, and I think you can make an argument.
He's the best. Guys with 11 rings combined.
Yeah, I was
right. They were part of dynasties. They don't get forgotten. AD has 1 ring.
But he did win though. That's the difference.
Yeah,
though,
he has one ring. He has 1 ring. He might
and he played with James too.
Yeah, he was next to LeBron, so that might help.
Right.
But also, we're not gonna act like we haven't heard in the last 15 years the amount of people trying to minimize Scottie Pippen because he played next to Jordan. You don't think 15 years from now the LeBron fans ain't gonna be like, well, AD really wasn't that good defensively. I mean, he doesn't have a Defensive Player of the Year. So how good defensively really was he? When people are going to be like, oh, well, that Lakers team was stacked. Well, were they really stacked? Because the next year, Anthony Davis was only averaging 22 points. Like, that's what's probably going to happen. So, like, AD is going to end up being disrespected in history, in my opinion.
And I feel like that's part of, like, anybody, which goes back to how he was when they won the championship. Because I don't know if you remember the conversations, because I had to listen to stuff like, he's better than Malone. And I'm like, I'm gonna crash my car on a telephone pole. I can't handle this. I really can't. No.
Yeah, I stand with those people, man.
It's great. It is. I do love to see great defenders playing with other capable defenders. It just really lets you see how you can play. It's like if I gotta play defense 1-on-5 or 2-on-5, you're not really gonna notice how great of a defender I really am. I need other guys to be able to play a little defense too.
Team defense.
Moving along to the next super chat from Alan L. He said, thoughts about the crossover tournament between the NBA and FIBA. I saw it on Twitter earlier, and it might be cool. L Ox, Dub Court.
What's the crossover tournament?
Yeah, I haven't heard much about it.
Yeah, neither have I.
So Adam Silver has been talking about here. Let me go ahead and I got some things that we could put on the screen. But Adam Silver has said that the NBA are in talks with FIBA for a European expansion. Silver has an option that he said for like an annual tournament, or even potentially the NBA starting a new league over there.
Starting a new league over there,
like the African league
in Europe.
Yeah, but in Europe, yeah.
What? Mind your business, Adam.
I don't think that's going to stack up to the EuroLeague. I don't see.
What you saying, Ox? Is this your block? I can't come on your block.
European
capitalism, bro.
They already got something going on. Yeah, European basketball already got something going on. I don't think the NBA needs to get involved in that. They already get involved by taking the young prospects from the EuroLeague.
But it makes us as Americans really look bad. It makes everybody hate us when we think that we need to go liberate everything. Like, mind your business, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody asked you to come over here and start a league, Adam. They have perfectly good basketball over there, bro. Stay out their business.
You don't want to bring them up.
Nah, bro. I just hate that. I hate that so much. That just really pissed me off, bro. What are you talking about? They don't need NBA Europe. Like,
so how do we feel about an in-season tournament over there?
We already have one.
Another in-season tournament?
Don't we already have one?
You saying in-season tournament taking?
I'm cool with that.
By the way,
I'm cool with that, Ron. Like, I'm cool with taking a handful of the American teams and a handful of the EuroLeague teams and doing something cool like that in January or November or something. I don't know. Maybe not even a full tournament. Maybe just like what they do. What's that? The Big Ten ACC Challenge or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like that would be dope. I'm 100% down with that. You know what I mean? But just trying to set up shop on A Block is crazy.
I'm trying to add more games to the schedule. That's why I don't get.
You know what happens? Zach, if somebody comes try to set up on your block.
Yeah, what is going on here?
It's not gonna be good. You get warned when you try to set up on somebody's block.
The commissioners of the EuroLeague, I hope they put their foot down and really stand on their nuts like, yo, Adam, we good, bro. We don't need no help.
They are good.
It's not your territory,
man. They doing their thing over there.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the EuroLeague.
Ron, we already have the in-season tournament sponsored by Emirates. I would not be surprised, to be quite honest with you, if in the future we ended up having a team from Europe come over and play in the tournament. That wouldn't surprise me, even though it wouldn't make any sense because it's about being in the It's about being in the NBA. But I wouldn't be surprised if they came up with a way to have one of those European teams play in the tournament. I don't think that it would help. But
what about doing an All-Star break or something? What if they brought like the EuroLeague All-Stars to come play? I don't know.
Well, we already seen
I like
what
that idea.
The G League All Stars. Yeah, I'm here with it.
That would be dope. That would be real dope. I think they kicked the G League All-Stars ass though.
We've seen
Respect to Money Bates.
No.
So now no one respects Money Bates. All right.
No, not like it's not that we don't respect him. We just don't like him as much as you do, Mars. That's all that is. But I mean, we've seen the whole we've seen the whole All-Star. I mean, I watched in '84 when the NBA All-Stars played against the Olympic team. Got smoked. They were coached by Oscar Robertson too, by the way. But they got smoked. Every time that they played, they got completely smoked. So I do understand capitalism, Ox, but that might be something that let's stay off their block. We good.
Yeah, leave them alone. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's just like why we think we know better than everybody. Like why? Like nobody.
You know what's best for people. Ox. You know what's best. Come on, man. You know what's best for these countries and these continents. Look at man.
I know what's best.
The mighty USA.
Liberation. They need help.
You can't keep getting mad at people for knowing more than you. Just because Tay Luke knows more than you can't be mad. Just because Adam Silver knows more than you.
Don't start it, Ron. Don't start it. Here we go.
This dude is an asshole. A real asshole.
Don't start it.
The thing about Chill, he really know how to piss me off. I was just chilling yesterday, just minding my business. You all right, Ux? You good? Shut the hell up, bro.
That was really a sincere question. I had no clue what was going on between you and Tay Luke.
There wasn't nothing going on between me and it wasn't, bro. Relax, bro.
I didn't know that me being a good friend was gonna roll over to you crashing out on him. I just had no clue.
I did not crash out on anybody, Ron. I just simply just addressed some chat.
When I saw you in Seattle, I told you I got a man just like him who, when I'm around, it don't take long for me to put him in a sleeper hole. It does not take long, but it'll be in a couple of minutes, and I'm ready to jump on his ass.
I'm ready to fire him up. Chill, like, bro, leave me alone, bro.
Because you know it's about to start, right? Here we go.
Dude called me yesterday. Called me at 11:30. What you doing, bro? What do you want, bro?
Don't ask me what I'm doing.
But what were you doing at 11:30?
Shit, I was on my way to the strip club.
All right.
What are you doing? I'm talking.
As a good friend, I'm checking up on my friend because I know he's up to no good. I could just sense it. I start getting that itch in the back of my neck. What the hell is Ox doing? It's 11:30. We got the panel bright and early in the morning. He got no snooze button before the panel. You supposed to be
ass home. He need to have his ass in there.
I was doing for the champagne room. I was working.
Okay.
Now, Ox,
working. Research and development.
In Ron's defense, Ox, Ron is the dude that's getting you up for practice. Because you ain't
no. I was doing research and development. I was doing my job.
He was not doing no research and development.
Respect the research and development he was doing.
So what you find out from Candy that can benefit us today, Ox?
Chill. Her name's actually Lollipop.
I'm sorry. What did you find out from Bubblegum that can benefit us today?
This is a family show. So
yes, it is.
100%. Speaking of family shows, we got another family show that's tuning into our family show, sending in super chats about our family show. Shout out to Gil's Arena and No Chill Gil specifically because he just sent through a super chat. He said, "Can you look at the players in Euro during the season? The best players are players who can't make the NBA. During the NBA, all the best players are in the NBA. Do you know what the Canadian League looks like during a season?"
What's the relevance?
That the best players in the league, the talent that's in the NBA, there's a complete difference between what the talent is in Europe and the talent in the NBA. Once you get that talent, all of that out of Europe, and you bring it to the NBA, it's almost nothing in Europe, which I don't think is true because the Euro League is a damn good league. It's not like the best players in the world, even though they are in the NBA. There's still some awesome players in the Euro League, still. And there's still some really talented players in the Spanish League, and some really talented players in NBA Africa, which I do watch that league, by the way.
There's good players. It's just not relevant. I mean, even if you want to say the overseas leagues were just a bunch of me's out there hooping, still not relevant. I mean, doesn't change how world champions are decided. So I just don't get how it's relevant to the topic we were having. Seems like he just wanted to say that the NBA was a superior league to the others, something we said an hour ago. So everyone agreed on that. Ox, right? You said the NBA was the best league in the world. Oh no, the WNBA. But you know what I mean? Like, but you know, Ox said it. Yeah. John D, is the NBA the best league in the world?
100%.
Chill.
Yes.
Ron?
Well, there is this league called
the
Big
This is why I didn't want to ask him. This is why I didn't want to ask him.
You should have straight skipped him.
He just wanted to be difficult.
We heard Ice Cube. I said the WNBA.
Here you go.
You ain't get mad at
him. On the men, for the men, it's the
But yeah, so like it's irrelevant. That's not how world champions are decided. So I just don't. You just felt like when it's saying the rest of the leagues are trash. I mean, I guess congratulations. It's not relevant to the topic we were discussing. So cool.
Hey, Ron, I know. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ron. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you good. Go ahead, Ron.
Christ sent through a super chat and said, "Shout out to Ox Court where cases aren't left unresolved. Why is Luka valued so highly when he is a below average defender and does not give effort?
Because of how good he is offensively.
He's one of the greatest offensive engines we've seen. And it's like, I think we think the same with Jokic as well. I mean, he's not the best defender. He can be serviceable at times, but how impactful he is on offense, he's probably the toughest player to guard in the league. And that's why you're going to consider him as the best player in the world every time that topic is brought up. He's so overpowering on offense, just like Luka, to where you're willing to build the defensive pieces around those two to make a championship team. Go ahead.
But Joker, I feel like the defensive effort is there way more than it is.
100%. But it's when you have a offensive engine that could take you to a championship, I think teams are like, okay, well, we have that guy, knowing there's maybe not much offensive engines in the league that can take us to an NBA finals or win an NBA championship, that we're willing to put the defensive pieces around him to make that work because he's so generational on offense.
Was the Celtics just that much better than Dallas, or did Luka's defense have anything to do with that?
The Celtics were that much better.
Can two things be true, though?
Two things can be true.
Luka's defense didn't help.
That's what I'm asking, Miles, because could that series, I think the Celtics were better, but could that series have been more competitive had I got a better effort from Luka defensively?
100%. I think they win game 3 if Luka is more.
Is that which game did he foul out? Which game did he?
That was game 3. That was when they went up 3-0.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, that was bad.
They could have won that game.
They lose in a hard fought 6 instead of 5, I guess. But
yeah, it doesn't go fast.
They weren't beaten. They weren't.
I don't think they were beating the Celtics neither. I don't believe that. But I feel like when you have a better effort, I feel like that comes more. That better effort, I think that galvanizes your crew for them to have better effort. And I feel like that helps you out defensively. Just like with Joker. Nobody talks about Joker as a defender, but when I watch Joker play defense, Joker does give effort. He will dig in the posts, right? He will keep his hands busy. Nobody talks. You guys, and this is one thing that I really want to harp on. We don't talk nearly as much. Ox and I actually had this conversation when Dub was up here. We don't talk about the importance of rebounding. It's the last line of defense. And the fact that Joker is the glass cleaner that he is, the defensive glass cleaner that he is, I don't think we talk about that nearly as much for the Denver defense, how big of a deal that is. Now, sure, Joker one-on-one is not going to give you Rudy Gobert. He's not going to be Anthony Davis or Bam Adebayo. But the fact that he gets on the glass in traffic, especially in the meat and potatoes of games, and comes up with big rebounds, prime example would be this game against Australia. He had 2 big rebounds in the clutch. 2 big rebounds in the meat and potatoes of the game that basically almost sealed the game for them. So I feel like we don't talk about stuff like rebounding as much as we need to. And a guy like Joker, who does give that effort on that side of the ball, I think it needs to be talked about a little bit more.
His effort can be inconsistent too. I remember the Lakers series a couple months ago. Those first 3 games or so, his defense was not good either. So, I mean, it wanes between certain players.
His defense, Miles, or his rebounding?
His rebounding is always there. He can rebound, but his defense in general, he wasn't the highest motor defender in those first games of the series. But I mean, I don't think Luka's defense was as detrimental as a lot of people say. I think during the regular season, I think he was pretty good. Then he was dealing with injuries and it kind of fell off. And then in the postseason, a lot of Dallas's scheme was to funnel guys towards Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford when he was in the game. So then they ended up coming up with this blow-by stat that no one had ever looked at in 10 years. But now all of a sudden it's the most important stat ever, which was very funny. But part of the. I mean, you could look. I don't have the stat on hands, but I'm like 50% sure that the leaders in that stat would probably be a lot of Dallas Mavericks because their plan was to let guys go towards the rim. And I also don't think in the finals Luka was their worst defender. I think Kyrie was worse on defense. So, but no one spoke about his defense. His defense was egregious in the finals, but no one brought it up. So
there was moments where Luka's defense where it looked like he was giving the effort. What really put the attention on Luka was him arguing with the refs, was him getting fouled out. That's what I really felt as though put all the eyeballs on Luka to where it's like he's not really giving an effort defensively. Like Mars said, Kyrie Irving was the worst defender on the court during that series, in my opinion.
So the 68% blow by rate that doesn't move you at all.
I don't pay attention.
If you can tell me who's second in that stat, it will move me.
That part right there, I need to find that out. That I do need to find out who the second person is. But
it was a stat to push an agenda. That's what it was.
Well, it was a stat to also magnify Luka on defense, which is what he isn't. He's a cone. If you're getting blown by almost 70% of the time, that's a problem for our defense. That weakens our defense, especially if
if the plan is to send people to the basket, which is actively what Dallas's plan was. Now, if you want to say their plan was that because they knew Luka couldn't stay in front, so they schemed it. So hey, fun with it. That's what I'm saying. It's a very nuanced conversation that goes beyond. Well, he got blown by 70% of the time. Okay, did he get blown by, or was he funneling guys towards the rim so they could rotate on the back line with Derek Lively at the paint? Or did Dallas scheme their defense around trying to keep Derek Lively at the rim because they know Luka can't keep anyone in front? Two very valid options, in my opinion, but both that go a lot more in depth than just he got blown by 70% of the time.
You might have a defense where you want to funnel them to the rim, but you never no coach is going to tell you just let them go to the rim. You know what I'm saying? Just no coach is going to say just play matador defense. Like they might say it's okay to let them go middle or send them baseline, or let them, like if they're going to go that way, but you still have to give them some resistance. You know what I'm saying? You can't just let somebody just blow by you.
I was about to ask you, Mars, in your estimation, do you think? Well, not do you think? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth. Where would you have both KP and Derek Lively as rim protectors?
What do you mean? Where would I have them? Like in the
these two guys together. If this is KP and this is Derek Lively as rim protectors.
You're not gonna grab that one.
Put Derek. I think.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We definitely gonna get.
Damn. Okay. Let me answer this as quick as possible. I think KP is the better shot blocker, but I think Derek Lively provides a bit larger presence at the rim, even as a rookie. So I'd rather have Derek Lively as my rim protector, but super chat.
We're going to get back to that, Mars. But go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
No Chill Gil sent through a follow-up super chat to address his last super chat, and our response to that.
To address me. Let's be honest. I just got us $200 to address me.
To address Mars, because he said the last super chat that he sent was irrelevant. So he said the relevancy is it would be pointless to have an in-season tournament with the NBA team versus a Euro team in January or February. The leagues during that time don't have NBA type of talent. ... Boston versus Euro champs. Best player is Kendrick Nunn versus Giannis' third brother.
I do agree with that. Yeah, the in-season tournament thing. Yeah, about bring your overseas team to play in the in-season tournament against NBA team. I agree with that. Pointless, absolutely pointless. I do agree with that. But I thought he was talking about back to the world champion thing. But I just made it $200.
I'm not gonna call that completely pointless though. In the Euro League particularly. Now we're talking about the Canadian League or even some other leagues, but in the Euro League, I'm still not going to call that pointless stuff. Like there's still American guys over there that got game. There's still European guys over there that got game. A lot of those guys could play in the league. Now I'm not saying they'd be superstars in the league, but they could play. They could hold their own. I'm not saying they win. I'm just saying just because you lose the game doesn't necessarily make it pointless. You can still show. It's a chance to showcase.
Money grab though.
It's not. And yeah, I mean they're not going to do it unless it's a money grab. I'm not talking about from the money standpoint. I'm talking about showcasing talent that a lot of people don't see. A lot of Americans don't know the talent that's over there. I'm not talking about hoop heads. I'm talking about guys that really think that they're not playing ball anywhere else besides America. So I'm saying, yeah, they're going to lose. More than likely, they're going to lose. but still, you know what I'm saying? I think it's good to showcase talent that people don't know is out there. Regardless, you know, some people are not going to do. A lot of people are scared to compete, Mars. A lot of people aren't going to do things if they know they're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? That's my youngest son is like that. He don't like to race his little cousin because she fast as hell. And I'll be like, just race. That's how you get better. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's bad enough. It's bad enough. It's my cousin, and it's a girl, and I lose to her. No, I ain't trying to hear that. Nope.
Hey, my little cousin, she was faster than me for a while too. But it's like I'm not scared to compete. I don't care if I'm gonna lose. I'm still want to compete. I think that's good for the game. I think that's good for the Euro League. I think it's good for everybody to see some of the talent over there. Like let's say if Olympiacos came over here to play, a lot of y'all, even people on the panel, don't know how dope Shaq is. You know what I'm saying? So let's say that they came over here and we played. It was Olympiacos versus the Wizards, and Shaq come to the right and catch a body. I'm talking about put Kuz in the bucket.
Alex Sor, Kyle Kuzma.
You know what I'm saying? Like let's say he put Alex Sor or Kuz in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna be like, oh, who is that? Who is that? Like that type of stuff is worth it to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it showcases talent. So while I'm not saying it's relevant or irrelevant, I think it's good for the game, all worldwide.
And we also talking about Gilbert Arenas, who a lot of people agree with that you know, talent trumps everything. And not all the time. There are times when talent gets trumped. We've seen it before, right? We've seen teams with more talent get beat. Now, sure, the better teams in Europe have less talent than the NBA because a lot of those guys come over here. But I mean, if you're looking at the action that they run, you look at the way that they're coached, I'm having a difficult time with the idea that a team from one of the better teams in Europe couldn't be competitive against one of the worst teams in the NBA.
I just think the NBA in-season tournament should be between NBA teams. I just feel like it's just unnecessarily adds in extra games. Even just to the European schedule. Now they got to fly all the way from Europe to the United States to play a game that doesn't mean anything. Like that's a very long flight. Like it's gonna be a money grab. It's about business, all of those things. But like
Spain to Vegas,
it just doesn't make sense to me to want to do all of those things. Even if somehow one of these overseas teams won the game, because single game elimination, anything can happen. Even if they won, it's still just a waste of time to me. Like
geographically, so your issue, Moss, is geographically it just doesn't work.
That's where I'm at with it. It's pointless. So I don't see the point of them playing. Do I think on any given night an EuroLeague team, especially a good enough one, could beat an NBA team, particularly a bad one? Sure. In terms of teamwork and coaching and schemes, sure, they could possibly win. I just don't think it's worth having to do all of the flying, doing all of that process and coming out of your mid-season, because February is the EuroLeague still going on, right? Their seasons are still going on. Leaving your time mid-season, it's not like they have an all-star break. Well, if they do, it's not in February. So why are they doing all of that to make the NBA some money? It's not like they're affiliated. So it doesn't make sense to me. So
and
yeah.
Another thing, I think the way the in-season tournament was brought in was to make the regular season more entertaining for the fans. And we've seen the NBA kind of take a step back during the regular season because it feels like a lot of teams are just going through the motions, and it makes a way for the regular season to be more competitive. And now I think the NBA are just trying to add too much to it. I think they struck gold with the regular plans. Maybe they need to fix the court a little bit, but it brought competitive nature to the regular season that we have not gotten the past couple of years. So I think right now it's just like adding the EuroLeague teams. Maybe it would put a positive note on basketball worldwide, but I also think it's like you're kind of taking the competitive aspect out of it now.
Yeah, they're overcomplicating it, in my opinion.
All right, y'all. France is mopping. I repeat, mopping Canada right now. 48
Get Canada off the floor. Get Canada.
It's still early in the second half. There's still 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. So they have a whole half technically to come back, but it's not looking too good right now. So we'll keep a close eye on that once again. But moving along, salute to everybody in here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe. And send through super chats to let us know how you're feeling about these certain things that we're talking about. But speaking of certain things that are being talked about, Charles Barkley said one thing about Joel Embiid. but he also had some comments about the USA team in general and as a whole. Quote unquote, he said, ain't nobody bringing anybody off the bench better than Kevin Durant. He said the international teams have gotten better, but there's never an excuse for the United States not to win the gold medal. We got the best team. We got the best players by far. He said, listen, if they lose, we can't let them back in the country. We can't. I told them they can't come back.
I think
he's right. Apart from the little joke at the end, but he's right. Like, absolutely, he's right. There's no reason why they shouldn't win gold.
I think
KD and LeBron could get injured. Oh, we'll just replace them with Jason Tatum and whoever else we want to replace.
Nobody else has that.
Like, there's no reason they shouldn't win gold. Oh, Steve Kerr has the flu. He's supposed to step up. Like that's
best case scenario.
Yeah, like there's nothing that could happen. There's nothing that could happen that would make them lose. The whole team comes down with an illness. Jimmy Butler, Jaylen Brown,
Paulo Banchero,
Kyrie. Like, they could bring in a whole new team and still win gold. Like, there's nothing that could happen that could make them not win. Nothing. So yes, I agree. There's no excuse for them to not win gold. It's not, what if this guy gets injured? No. What if the whole team, God forbid, died? No, they're gonna win. They're going to win. So yes, I agree. But
yeah,
it's just the whole team passed away. They still
it's just a pick.
Yeah, let's go get 12 more guys.
They'll just replace them with a new 12 and they'll still win. So yes, but let them back in the country even if they didn't win. But yes, I agree with what Charles Barkley said.
Yo, Charles banning people from America as well, bro.
Crazy.
Since we're on the subject of teams, Ron, I wanted to bring something to the fellas that you and I talked about on Saturday, and I was wondering how they felt about it. But I know we got to move on.
Do we?
Your top 10 teams?
I wanted to bring that to the fellas and see how they felt about it.
What top 10 teams?
So I was thinking about the top 10 teams of all time, and it was 13 teams. Ironically, I didn't have one of the Celtic teams. I had the 64 team. I didn't have the 64 or the 62 team. But the teams that I had in here, it was 13 teams, and I had to cut it to 10, right? So the 13 teams was 67 Philly, 71 Milwaukee, 72 Lakers, 83 Philly, 86 Boston, 92 Bulls, 96 Bulls, 2000 Lakers, 13 Heat, 17 Warriors. And the other three teams were the 05 Spurs, 01 Lakers, and the 87 Lakers. And I had to cut it to 10. Yep. I know I'm wilding right now. Yep.
No, I don't think you are. I just want to say something real quick. The 02 Kings beat 5 of those teams. I'm just gonna leave that there. Y'all take it what you want. I don't want to debate about it. I don't want to die on no heels. I'm just saying.
There are teams that didn't win a chip that I think are clearly better than teams that did.
Now remember when Ron and I was talking about this, I wasn't putting these teams against each other. Like, I wasn't saying right, the 86 Celtics could beat the 92 Bulls, the 92 Bulls could beat the 13 Heat. I was just talking about, in terms of my criteria, what they did during that time. The fact that I left the 64 Celtics off, I'm definitely on that real diesel with leaving off the 64.
Yeah, I was gonna say 64 Celtics have to be in there, man.
Yeah, the 64 Celtics, I'm on that real diesel. I'm on that real diesel leaving them off, right? So but the way that I had it figured out,
like Shaq diesel, right?
No, that real diesel. I was on that real diesel, leaving the 64 Celtics off, right? Even the 62 Celtics, them two teams, I was wild for that. But and I'll probably get smoked for it, no problem. But the way after doing all of that, I came with I had the Spurs, the 09, the 05 Spurs at 10. I think that's the best team Duncan was on. I had 83 Philly at 9. I had the 86 Celtics at 8. I had a split between the Heat and the 87 Lakers, and I picked the 87 Lakers, and I'm going to explain why in a little bit. And I also had a split between the 2000 Lakers and the 2001 Lakers. I picked the 2001 Lakers. I had the 67 Sixers at 5. I had the 92 Bulls at 4. which I struggle with this because there's a part of me that feels like the 92 Bulls was better than the 96 Bulls. I had the 72 Lakers at 3. I had the 17 Warriors at 2, and I had the 96 Bulls at 1.
You lost me.
Mm-hmm.
So what teams missed out? The 71 Bucks.
I took the 71 Bucks off. I took the 2000 Lakers off, and I took the 13 Heat off.
I think those are probably the right teams.
Yeah,
my only problem where I'm struggling with this whole thing is and I know it's a team thing, but you just left the best player in this whole list off. But proceed.
How?
What you mean how?
How do you leave the best? Who's the best player?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem not on the 87 Lakers, or am I bugging?
100% he on the 87 Lakers.
Well, the best version of the best player.
And that's
see, here he go, man. Here he go, moving the goalpost, man. I can't see Abdul-Jabbar on the back of his jersey.
There's a difference between the best version of a player and a guy you could be the best version and be on the best team too. That wasn't the best version of Jabbar, but that was the best team he was ever on. The 87 Laker team. Better than 85, better than 82, and better than 80.
But yeah, I think those are pretty solid teams. But you said 87 Lakers over the 13 Heat. Why?
The reason why is because the Miami Heat did something that the 72 Lakers already did. That's what I was predicating that on. Yes, that's what I was predicating that on. The fact that the 87 Lakers, when Jabbar took a step back and now Magic took over the reins, they became faster. Not only did they get faster, James Worthy now became what James Worthy was becoming. Nobody talks about the fact that he led them in scoring in the playoffs in 87. Nobody talks about that. That's a pretty big deal. I feel like he was better than Jabbar at that point. And if he wasn't, he was close to it. Magic was clearly the best player on the crew. And that 72 Laker team, the fact that they and that's why I took them off. I took the Heat off for that 72 Laker team. In terms of a talent, I feel like Chamberlain had played on more talented units, but as a collection, and also the curse of Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor ended up retiring like 10 games into the season. They go on to win 69 games that year, and they win 33 straight, and they win the NBA championship and smoke everybody in the regular season. So
did Elgin still get that ring?
I don't think so.
I think he has a ring, but I don't think it goes on his resume as an NBA champion. I think, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be claiming it though for sure. If I'm 0-7 in the finals, you best believe I'm getting that ring. You best believe.
Who was that? Who was that player that was on one team and got traded to the other team, and those two teams was in the
Varejao.
That was Varejao.
Yeah.
Varejao.
He was on the 15 Cavs and then the 16 Warriors. It was tough. Yeah.
No. They was playing each other for the championship, so it was like he was gonna get the ring regardless that year.
Yeah, it was Varejao.
Yeah, but I don't think he took it. Because if I remember correctly, he was on the Cavs in the 16 season and got traded to the Warriors that year. But I don't think he took the ring from the Cavs. So he played for both teams in the finals.
Okay.
He was on the Warriors at that point and they lost. So
run me that ring.
Shout out to all defensive team one time. Anderson Varejao, man. I remember he made the all defensive team coming off the bench. They said LeBron ain't have help.
15-16, he got traded in the middle of the season to Golden State. He was in Cleveland. Yep.
How many players make all defensive team coming off the bench? Come on, man. Varejao.
Dennis Rodman won Defensive Player of the Year coming off the bench.
Yeah, and guess what? He gets called part of a super team, but Varejao not help apparently. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In case you're just now tuning in and you don't know what happened earlier today, it has been a couple games in the Olympics and a couple teams that have advanced. Germany beat Greece 76-63. Unfortunately, Giannis and Greece got packed up and they're going home. Giannis did have a solid game. He had, he had 22 points, only 2 rebounds and 3 assists. And for Germany, Franz Wagner, he led the chase with 18
Say my name right, Ron. Get my name right. It's not Wagner, it's Wagner.
Franz Wagner, he had 18 points. He led the chase for them. Dennis Schroeder came off the bench and he had 13 points and 8 assists. Shout out to Germany. They will be advancing to the next round, the round of 8. Also, Nikola Jokic and Serbia took care of Australia. They were down 24 at one point, but they came back in large part due to Jokic doing what he does. He had 21 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. But shout out to Patty Mills and Josh Giddey, both putting up good scoring outputs, but they're going home back to Australia. So that's that. As of right now, France and Canada, they're duking it out. France is up 52-39 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So we will see who advances in that game as well.
Yeah.
Team USA will be playing in a couple hours, and they'll be playing against Brazil. So we'll also keep our eyes tuned to that and see what happens over there.
Y'all get ready for that Germany USA gold medal game. That's where it's going.
Facts. The world champions versus the Olympic champions.
And this about to be the world champions and the Olympic champions. Like I said, shout out to France.
All right, Shay just got an M1. Uh-oh. They were down 20. They were down 20, and it looks like they're down 10 now. So we'll see if Canada can continue to fight back. But in the meantime, Yossi Tadis said, for the athletics example, Olympics is international and has qualifiers just like the World Championships. I think for certain sports, it is synonymous. Appreciate you for tapping in, Yossi.
Thank you for joining us with them.
MP13 said, can someone explain why the Warriors won't give up pods for Lowry? I'm about to lose my mind constantly seeing that they won't give him up.
Okay, first of all, Lowry just signed an extension with the Jazz.
Did he sign an extension?
It's done.
Is that what you said earlier?
Just did.
Yes, he just signed an extension with Lowry. He just signed an extension with Utah. But that's not the kicker. Even before he signed an extension, the reason why they weren't giving up pods, it had nothing to do with the player. Danny Ainge, being Danny Ainge, he was going to drive up the price. That's the idea. Danny Ainge was going to have him on the crew this season. Lowry was going to get busy. And what you were going to pay, when you were going to pay 40 cents on the dollar this summer, you're now going to pay 70 cents on the dollar in the regular season when he's 25, 9, and he's making the all-star team, and he's contending for being an all-pro. Now that price tag goes way up. So that bucket of extra crispy, which would have been pods, now guess what you got to do? Instead of taking me to KFC, now you got to take me to Ruth Chris to eat.
Danny Ainge is the prime example of why you never negotiate with terrorists. You know what I'm saying?
On that.
You never negotiate with terrorists. Never. Ever.
Hey, the thing about it is you might actually win the exchange or the negotiations, but you're losing something along with it. And it's not worth losing what you're going to gain.
The reason why, Ron, you don't is because once you show them that you're willing to give something up, they're just gonna come take more. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, now give me this, now give me that. Like, once you show, you gotta let them know, like, it's like you can't move me. Once you do, it's over. They got you by the cojones.
And I think that they, with them signing Lowry, I don't think that this is a chess move where he's looking to move him later. I think he's building that unit around Lowry, unless he gets something where he can't say no to. And again, Ox, I told you how Danny Ainge is. Danny Ainge is the dude where you walk into the car dealership and say, yo, I only got $350 a month for a car payment. And you walk out and that car payment is $600. That's you. That's Danny Ainge, 100%.
Chill with my credit. $600 is a bargain.
Drink More Water said, why is there so much variance in Duncan's free throw percentage? Looking at it, he ranges from 80% to 60% in a 3-year span. Just curious to know why that is.
If I think about Duncan, I mean, I don't think his free throw production like went down. I mean, I think it happens. He wasn't a terrible free throw shooter, but he was anywhere in the middle. He made free throws in the playoffs, though. He did. He was a big time free throw shooter in the playoffs. So,
meh.
L Dog 661 became a member today. Big ups to L Dog. Appreciate you for joining the party, my man. It's good to see you in here. And also, I don't know who has a secret crush out there or a romance thing going on, but fellas, we on the internet right now. Keep that in your personal lives, because this is the second day in a row that somebody sent one of you guys chocolates.
How we know that ain't for you, Ron? How about that?
Chocolate ain't always romantical. I'm saying,
And how we know it ain't for you, Ron? How about that?
That is definitely not for me, Chill.
Are you sure?
I have no riz, Chill.
Really?
So
Is this the same dude that said that I'm the one who put the crew together, but you don't have no riz? Ron, you are.
Chill. They call you Riz Town.
They do not call me Riz Town. That's a made-up name. So they do not call me that.
So if I ran the poll right now and I said, "Is he Riz Town?"
I'm not.
Yes or no? How much percentage of the yes would you get?
I will. If I had to guess, 30%. Maybe.
See, I hate
30.
to have to do this.
Yo, like I said, Ron, I don't think chocolate's always romantical. You know what I'm saying? Send all the chocolate y'all want. You know what I'm saying? Dove chocolate, them chocolates from Hawaii with the little nuts in them. You know what I'm saying? All that chocolate, man. Send that.
Ron, if we just got out of practice and I bought Ox a candy bar, is that a bad thing?
Chill. If you did it one day, I'd be like, all right, he's just looking out for his man. If you continuously kept doing it, I would probably start looking at y'all like, all right, what's going on? Like, why?
Relax, bro.
I'm just saying.
Depends what type of chocolate.
Is this what you got? This what you got to put up with, Ox, on the regular? Is this what you got to put up with on the regular?
Can't even eat chocolate no more.
I can't buy my Nestle's
I'm not
Crunch.
saying you can't eat chocolate, but I'm saying
Can't buy my Snickers. Something going on. What's going on with you and y'all two?
We just gonna stop right here, but I guess that's a good friend. I guess. Donovan Samuel said dub box score.
So,
John D, you said you was tapped in?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
And who cooked and who didn't cook?
I don't know. See, I'm new here, so I want to be
if
fair.
you're at the kitchen table and
you don't want to make any enemies, man.
You can say the food is bad if you're sitting at the kitchen table. If you're a guest, you can say that.
Okay,
just say it's not for me. That's what you got.
My opinion is,
speak your mind.
I think it's just a basketball debate. So there was no reason to get personal. It's a basketball debate. We just looking at numbers on the screen and we talking about how we watched the game. So I felt therefore there shouldn't have been any personal jabs either way. But I think Lowe had a better argument though. I think Lowe had a better argument. And I think it was easy to shift towards Lowe's argument because 99% of basketball fans don't have Arvydas Sabonis in the top 10. So it's like, once again, I don't think Penn was bad. I think Penn put up some good arguments, but I think Lowe had the better arguments, and it was easier for a regular fan to understand where he was coming from and how he explained it.
I do want to say, like, in light of all of that, Arvydas Sabonis was very good.
Like, yeah, he was
very, very good. And I do believe Arvydas should be in all-time talks. Maybe not that high, but I don't think that we talk about Arvydas Sabonis nearly enough with what he could do. Arvydas, and I a lot of people don't like to do this, but I just want to bring him into this game right now. If that Arvydas Sabonis played in this game right now, with him being the unicorn that he was, we would talk about him in
Ron, get it. You better get his name right because Penn will lose it because you call him Arvydas.
I have a speech impediment.
Oh, damn. Nice. But yeah, that's a lot of what Penn said. It was a lot of his game translates to like how the game is played now in terms of he can shoot, he can protect the rim, his mobility, all of those things. And there was a lot of hypotheticals in terms of what if he stayed healthy, what if the politics at the time allowed him to be in the NBA, all of those things. I mean, I've always said I haven't watched any Arvydas Sabonis that wasn't for the Portland Trailblazers, so I'm not in a position to really tell anyone about how good he was in 1982. I don't know, but I'm also not gonna act like I do know and say, oh well, he's 1000% wrong, and then you haven't watched a dribble of Arvydas Sabonis before he got to the NBA. I feel like that's just talking for the sake of talking. So
I wish he could have came earlier to the league. I really.
And also shout out to Oscar Schmidt too, and Brandon Katz.
Yeah, you know Brandon Katz for sure. Watched Oscar Schmidt play. Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, shout out to Brandon Katz.
Good times. All right, y'all. Dirty 41 said Clips OKC Wolves series. Luka defense was a plus. Making it to the finals now, people just want to push a blow-by narrative. Nobody brought up beforehand.
Nobody brought that up beforehand.
Are you kidding me?
It's not even the blow-by thing. It's the eye test. It's the eye test. You can tell that the effort's not there on the court on defense most of the time. And being the number one on that team, showing effort on defense can take a team a long way. If it's a guy that's coming out like Jaden Hardy, if Jaden Hardy sees his two best offensive players on that team playing solid defense, you think he's not going to want to lock in on the other side of the ball. Like, I think you're being the best player on the floor and you're not the best defender for your team, but you're locking in every possession. No matter if you're getting beat, you're showing effort. You're making the right rotation. Sometimes Kyrie had to push Luka into his rotations. So I think the blow by rate, yeah, it's a bad stat to bring up at this time, but we still see from watching the game that Luka was not the best on defense. And there was times where he just wasn't showing effort and he was just standing there froze, not making the right rotations, talking to the refs. There was possessions in game 3 where he spent time talking to the refs and the Celtics were in transition and Jason Tatum's down the court getting an easy layup. So now instead of losing by 8 points or losing by 4 to 6 points, you're losing by 8 points. You're missing free throws. It just trickles down, especially as if you're the best player.
John D, it is 100% not a bad time to bring up blow by stats. None of that. It's not. Never. In defense, John D, you stay between what? Your man and the basket. Okay. Basic basketball 101. Stay between your man and the basket. Be in between the basket, that thing up there 10 feet high. You stay in between that and him. Okay. That's basic basketball 101. It's never a bad time.
Jazz defender.
Now,
James
I
Harden,
get that, but I'm just saying,
that piece. Why would you bring that up? It's you never and you know what? In that stance, that's the only time I'll give you a pass because they came up with some stupid scheme and they tried to do that. Fine, but like, not only is it just that, but it's the inability and unwillingness to recover when you get beat. When you get beat, you can still turn your hips. You stop sliding. You turn your hips and sprint, beat him to the spot. Make him turn again. That's all. That's what defense is. Essentially, that's all we're doing on defense is staying in between here, making my man turn until he passes the ball. You know what I mean? So it's not. I don't know if it's just some analytics. I don't know. But whatever the blow by stat is, you can use that because you're not supposed to be getting blown by on defense. I need to stay between my man and the basket.
Yeah,
that's all.
I think we can. I'm not saying like we can't use it, but I'm saying we can tell from the eye test that he's not playing. He's not putting effort in on defense. Like, you can use the stat. I'm not going to be like, oh, don't use the stat. But it's like we can see watching the games that we don't need to look at a blow by rate. He's getting blown by. He's not rotating. He's talking to the refs. He's not engaged on the defensive side of the ball. So it's like I wouldn't say not to use the blow by rate, but if we're watching the games, we can clearly tell he's getting blown by consistently.
Miles, quick side note, one of my buddies used to play in the NBA, and he was trying to sell me this, how they was playing James Harden, where they basically were playing behind him. And he was trying to sell me that. I hung the phone up on him.
That's overthinking it.
I mean, if you look at James Harden's efficiency, I mean, you can say it's overthinking it. It worked. I mean, they lost, but it worked. Like, James Harden.
That's a great plan. See how they got him now? Now he's consistently looking behind himself and click.
I mean, you got Rudy Gobert down there. You know James Harden, he's not going to take a midi because we playing analytics basketball right now in Houston. Rudy Gobert is the best rim deterrent in the league. We know he's trying to get to that step back, especially when we send him right off the screen. We know he's trying to get to that step back. If we can funnel him inside towards the best rim protector in the league who can play two in that situation, our defense stands a chance because then we aren't having to triple team James Harden to get the ball out of his hands. They did it. And James Harden struggled. So we basically they lost. Of course, they lost. And they lost for reasons away from just that scheme. But in terms of what I think they tried to do, which is jank up Houston's offense, make James Harden second guess himself and make him just play differently, their plan worked, in my opinion. I think you got to be willing to try something new if you want to be able to beat these all-time great offensive players. The same reason. That's how innovation happens. You got to try something new. Offensive innovation is because defenses change things and you got to find new ways to be effective. They start clogging up the lane. Guess what? I'm going to shoot from 30 feet. Easy.
Wait a second, though, Morris. Wait a second. So that's innovative and that's okay.
No,
but you and Jill got mad at me when I said just leave Luka down there.
I was the one who brought it up. I was the one who said that. Whoever that Kings guy was the one trying to say just defend 4 and 5 and throw outlets. I was like, innovation. Now you was like, but like, I seen them try it and Reggie Evans missed the layup. I was like, Interesting.
Yo,
But
chill. Why not? He don't play no defense. He might as well just stay down there. Chill.
Not getting involved.
We bet. We better off.
You used it as a time to hate on Luka. If you just use it as a time to be like, well, innovation has to come from somewhere. Like, maybe you can build with. Maybe it's not you 4-on-5, but I mean, even now, teams like not everyone crashes the defensive glass because guys get out in transition. That's a form of just continuing the innovation of what they set was. We just gonna play 4-on-5 on defense, and now it's when the shot goes up, you don't have to worry about rebounding. Get up the court. Like there's subtle innovations that come over time. Someone went drastic with it, but it's subtle innovations. Like in the 70s when I can't remember the coach's name, so I'm not even gonna try. But whoever was coaching the Buffalo Braves with Bob McAdoo, moving him to the 5, small ball 5. Bob McAdoo's now winning MVPs and scoring titles because he's quicker than every 5 in the league, and he's so supremely skilled that hey, we got a good offense. Now our defense is atrocious, but hey, our offense is really good, and Bob McAdoo's really good. That's what set up Amari Stoudemire at the 5 in Phoenix, and then that's what set up Chris Bosh at the 5 in Miami. That's what set up Draymond at the 5 in Golden State. Like it starts somewhere.
Sure.
And we see where it goes. And now small ball 5s are all the rage. But then guess what? Small ball 5s, you know what the counter is? Legitimate big who can bully them. And now like
that's how we get to the bottom of that.
Innovation starts somewhere, and then eventually innovation gets tinkered with a little bit, and then it changes, and then teams adjust to that innovation, and now there's a counter to that. So now we got legitimate bigs again, but then the counter is going to be maybe we spread the floor even more. Maybe we have more shooters. Maybe we bring the big away from the rim. Like the game always goes in, it ebbs and flows, man.
And chill, we can go a step further though, right? So it's not like he just don't play defense. He just only plays defense on this side of the court. Ball pressure. That's elite ball pressure. That's 94 feet of defense. You guard him once they get past half court, you just turn around.
The moment they get past half court, Luka's done his job.
Just turn around and go. That can slow the ball down. That means maybe they get the ball down with 18, 19 seconds left. I'm just saying we could try it.
So then, in theory, because we're being theoretical right now. So in theory, with Luka back, we got to contend with Luka being back, which means that we might not be able to offensive rebound as much because we got to worry about this dude in the backcourt. Yeah. Well, how do you counter that? You slow the game down. How about that?
I mean, this is a 24-second shot clock, and Luka's playing defense when you bring the ball up. So how much can you really slow it down?
We can slow the game down. Not only can we slow the game down, we can also have ball pressure on the inbounder because I know where you're going to throw the ball at. You're going to throw the ball over my head. So now immediately what I'm going to do is I'm going to put pressure on the inbounder right in front of him because I know that you're going to throw the long ball because you're trying to get the ball to Luka immediately. So I'm going to practice making sure that I get all of these guys back in transition. I'm going to completely thwart your vision. And by the way, we score in every trip because you're a man down. We're not ever.
You can't. You're already a man down. Chill. You got Luka on the defensive end. You're a man.
You're not going to score.
You're a man down anyway. It's Luka Doncic. He's not playing.
I gotta step in. Chill. By the way, on that poll, 75% of the people said you are indeed Riz Town. No. But as of right now, Canada is making a strong comeback with 7.5 minutes left in the game. Shea is at the free throw line, shooting 2 free throws, and France is down 61-55. Okay,
you said he missed both of them, Moss?
It's still 61-55. France has the ball, so we will see what happens in this last 7.5 minutes. Back to some things over here, though. I have a super chat from MP13. He said, forget all of that. I'll say it for Buddy. His name is John D, by the way. But he said, I'll say it for John D. Lowe came in and deep fried Penn. He really thought him saying he watched VHS tapes when he was 9 and remembers well enough to objectively analyze him was complete nonsense. He was capping. Coping.
I think in a situation like this, where you got to either go off Penn's memory as a 5-year-old or people who have never watched him, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place of who you want to believe. I'm 95% sure Lowe has watched 0 full games of Arvydas Sabonis. And I'm 95% sure Penn has watched games of Arvydas Sabonis. Now, do I trust the memory of a 5-year-old? or do I trust the person who hasn't watched a single game? I don't know. You know what I want to say? The whole conversation was pointless. Them arguing about Arvydas Sabonis was pointless. Penn said a lot of things that I don't agree with and that I think were contradictory. I just think harping on the Arvydas Sabonis point was the most pointless point because we've got about 900 people watching this right now. Ox had about 1,000 people in his Ox court. I'm certain maybe 3 of them had watched a game of Arvydas Sabonis before he was in the NBA. None of you guys knew. None of you guys know anything about what he was doing for Real Madrid. None of you guys know anything he did in the 1988 Olympics. None of you guys know anything he did in the 1984 Olympics. None of you guys know anything he did before he tore his Achilles. None of you guys know. But you were so passionately saying he wasn't better than Kobe or couldn't be better than Kobe when none of you know. So that's what bothered me. I try to not speak on things that I don't know about because that would be stupid. But everyone else just feels so comfortable to talk on things they don't know about and say it as if it's so matter of fact that it bothers me. But if you have watched them, shout out to you. But
I just remember Mars. I do remember watching Sabonis in the Olympics going, damn, who is this white dude? I do remember thinking that.
Oh yeah, you were around. Yeah.
Yes, I was. And I remember watching him. Because I thought Larry Bird was like the only like white dude that was like that. I mean, there was other white dudes that was like that, but Larry Bird was the only white dude that I thought was like that. And I remember watching the Olympics, and David Robinson and guys like that. I was like, who is this white dude? He is nice.
And that was post Achilles, right? Or did you watch him in 84?
I watched a little bit of him in 84.
But more so after the Achilles had happened. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying Penn's right.
With that being said, though, you know what I'm saying? There was a good amount of footage on Arvydas. Not a bunch of full games. No, I'm not going to try to say that. But there was a good amount of footage on younger Arvydas. And then when you put that with what we actually saw when he finally came to the league, now the stats might not be mind-blowing, but the way he was playing was still incredible at that age. Like if we were to just talk about him when he got to the league, no, we're not going to say he's an all-time great. But we will say he was nasty, like a slower, less athletic, still big dude with work on the block, great passer. His skill set was still there. Arvydas Sabonis was bad, Mars.
I've seen him in Portland. I watched Portland games because Portland was winning games and stuff. So like I've seen him in Portland and he was really good. And a lot of what Penn said, he's acknowledged he was biased. He acknowledged that 1,000. Mm-hmm. He said it about 17 million times. He's biased. But Penn saying, because a lot of his argument was based on hypotheticals. Mm-hmm. We aren't going to act like we don't have Yesterday, we were debating what Kawhi Leonard would look like with no injuries. Like, we did that yesterday, talking about 7 rings here. Like, we did it. Hypotheticals are a huge part of basketball discussion. Penn saying, I look at what Arvydas Sabonis was in the NBA. He said top 5, top 6 big man in the era of bigs. He said that. And then he says, that's at 32 years old, coming off a torn Achilles, and him watching him before even after the Achilles and in 1992, seeing how good he was overseas. Him saying, well, if he doesn't tear his Achilles and he was that dominant overseas, he would have been that good in the NBA. To act like there's no basis to anything he was saying, I think is disingenuous. Right. Do I think he would have been a fringe top 15 player of all time? Because that's where he had him. He had him like 13, 14. That's what he said. He never said top 10. His top 10, his 10 was like KG or something. He said top 15-ish. So like, do I think it's crazy to say if Arvydas was allowed in the NBA from 82? Is that when he'd be eligible or whatever? All the way through and he doesn't tear his Achilles, that is crazy? Yeah, I think there's probably some to the claim. But once again, I didn't watch him before the Achilles, so I'm not going to talk from a place of authority like, oh, he's bugging, he doesn't know. And then you're going to be quoting that he averaged 12 in the NBA. Like, at the end of the day, you don't know anything. So just... Yeah,
can I also point out the fact that like Sean Kemp, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, those guys were even better than I thought they were when I went back and watched them. Like all the guys that I remember watching from 5 to 9, 10 years old, who I was big fans of, were much better than I even thought they were. Like when I go back, when I start getting older, start watching NBA classics and going back watching Sean Kemp and Charles Barkley and Scottie Pippen, I was like, damn, I thought these dudes was good, but
why you think
this is ridiculous? Because I knew more. I just
you understand. You understand.
I knew more. But yeah, by the time I got 12, 13, 14, and I was, and I got much better at basketball. Yeah, I start learning more about basketball, and I'm watching Scottie, and I'm like, damn, like I was a fan, but like nah, bro, it was crazy. Like, so I will say that. You know what I mean? Like, just because you watch something when you're 5 because that's when I start watching, actually being able to sit down and watch games at like 7, 8 years old when I would actually finally sit down and watch it. And I didn't know, I wasn't, I knew a lot about basketball because I grew up in the gym, but I still didn't really realize how hard that stuff was to do. Like until I was 13, 14, when I could finally start dunking the basketball, I'm like, damn, Scotty coming through like that, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was incredible. So I'm not knocking kids for watching basketball and remembering what they watch, because a lot of times they probably don't even realize how good these people really are that they're watching. They're just fans.
Right.
MP13 with the follow-up super chat. He said, but the point is not whether or not people watch Sabonis. The point is that factually there isn't enough viable evidence to compare and put him past someone like Kobe, who we all watched for 2 decades. You can't project that.
I mean, who are we to decide what's viable evidence? I mean, like I said, his whole argument was hypothetical. And I'm not a huge fan, like personally, of projecting these type of what ifs, because then I feel like you have to like hold certain guys in a lot higher regard. But I understood where he was coming from, and I think he's speaking from a place of bias and him watching more Arvydas than most people, so he holds him in higher regard. But like, people project things all the time. I mean, it's not anything new. It's just now he projected someone who you haven't watched a lot, and he projected him over someone who you did watch a lot, and you view it as crazy. Do I view it as crazy? No, because I don't know anything to know if it's true or not. So I just didn't care. Arvydas was the least of my concerns. Now, some of the other things he said about his list was a bit interesting, but Arvydas, I don't think, was the one everyone should have harped on. But that's the one people did harp on because, I don't know, they chose to.
It was really just Kobe. Like, him, you can't speak down on Kobe in the basketball community. And it was just like, I wish that he would have had Kobe further up on his list. So when he said Arvydas, we could have acknowledged that he felt that high about Arvydas. It wasn't the fact that he has Arvydas where he had him at. It was the fact that he had Arvydas ahead of Kobe.
He wasn't.
Penn is low. Penn is lower on
Kobe.
Penn is lower on Kobe than most people, and I think it's obvious to see why. The advanced analytics don't really like Kobe that much. They don't paint him as that good, and Penn is someone who leans into the advanced analytics. So, like I said, I don't agree with Penn on where he has Kobe and how good he thinks Kobe is. I don't agree with him at all. But to act like what he was saying either didn't make sense based on what he's told you on where he grew up and how he grew up, I think is just disingenuous. That man told you he grew up in Yugoslavia. Man told you he grew up watching Arvydas Sabonis VHS tapes. He told you he was biased, and then you're shocked that he's biased. Like, he told you all of those things. So I just understand the perspective in which he's coming from. Now, do I agree with what he's saying? No. But to act like he's just saying that out of nowhere, no. But I do think he's lower on Kobe than most people. And once again, I understand why he's lower on Kobe than most people, but I think it just opens up more questions. Why do the advanced analytics not hold Kobe in as high regard as other people do? Why do the advanced analytics say Kobe wasn't an elite defender, but yet he was constantly making all defensive teams? Why did coaches and GM say Kobe was the best perimeter defender in the league, but the stats would always say he was one of the lesser defenders? Why is there such a and his perception? That's the question I think it should be asking. Well, but instead, it's just, oh, you hate Kobe, like. Sure.
And would it be because now we live in an information age and we have more information to go off of as opposed to just the eye test? Because with the eye test, even though, like you just said, Mars, he's biased. I mean, I saw Kobe Bryant and I thought he was fantastic, but I also saw a big man, and I'm biased toward the big man. I'm more partial toward the big man. So with reason, this is why I feel the way I do about my top 10. So because we live in a different age, we live in an information age, and we have more access to things. Now, there's some people who are actual basketball people who hate analytics, who hate the numbers, who say, into Ox's point, basketball, right? But your production is what matters. 100% it is.
Well, Penn has a stats degree, so I'm going to trust how he feels about these certain things in analytics more than I'm going to trust Ox's eye test and him not liking basketball.
Well, Penn understands stats, but he also does misrepresent them too. Like, there's more to the game than just who had the
Well,
higher
when you
box
got
plus.
when you got a stats degree, you can do things like that because you got a stats degree.
Yeah, because when you have a stats degree, not just Penn, but when you understand stats, you're able to use them to misrepresent, to spread misinformation because other people aren't going to understand that you are clearly deceiving them. Because this one, what's the word? Number, women lie, men lie, numbers don't. It's like that. People always be like, well, the stats don't lie, but yes, people use stats to lie all the time, or people use stats to deceive people all the time. You say a number and it's like, oh well, I guess this is the case, but like they don't encompass everything. Even numbers like VORP and stuff, it's box score metrics. That's what it tracks. It doesn't track things that can't be measured by the box score. So VORP is a flawed stat. Box plus minus, it says box in it. It's measured by the box score. Flawed stat. Like everything is a flawed stat. So, I mean, it is what it is. And to Sturdy in the chat saying it wasn't consistent to guys like Dr. J, he didn't watch Dr. J a lot. That's what he said. He hasn't watched a lot of him, so he just didn't feel comfortable ranking him. That's just understandable. If you're going to say it wasn't consistent because Dr. J was leading the league in VORP, he said by his own words, I haven't watched a lot of him, so he didn't rank him that high. He said top 60, top 50 because it's a conservative estimate. He didn't want to lie and be like, oh, we're top 20. And then he gets down to it and it's like, oh, I got Dr. J 27. So it's just more comfortable to just say I got him lower because it's easier. So I understood what he was saying. I didn't agree with a lot of it, but I understood it.
All right, y'all. As of right now, France and Canada are still duking it out. Canada is down 62 to France's 69. Wemby just got a crazy block. It is 2.5 minutes left, so we will see how this game finishes out. It should end right around the time where the show ends, so we should be able to talk about the conclusion of that. But in the meantime, I need to get to these super chats, and you guys want to hear some of this good stuff that some of your other chat mates or bandits or rats, whatever you guys call each other nowadays, have said as well. So I got a super chat from one of your fellow chat rats. I would say his name, but he doesn't have a name. He said, I don't want to hear Swiper say nothing about Jamal Murray anymore. He's not like that without Jokic.
So he's not better than Penny Hardaway?
So we're basing a 3-week tournament. We're basing a 3-week tournament in the Olympics over what his entire NBA career looks like.
He hasn't looked bad though, chill. Even like watching this game tonight, like he hasn't done anything. 3 for 13.
No, he made a three. He made a three. I seen him make a three.
3 for 30. He does have 6 rebounds though, but he's 3 for 13. He's just
I don't think seeing Jamal Murray play without Jokic, it really means much. Like I think I'm pretty confident in saying Murray's probably going to be playing next to Jokic for the rest of his career. Like I think Murray playing next to Jokic, that's going to be what he's looked at. I mean, we can look at a few week stretch of Olympic basketball. We can look at some days maybe Jokic isn't playing, but when we look at the chunk of Jamal Murray's career, it's going to be next to Jokic and how he impacted winning in the playoffs and in the regular season. I just don't think seeing him without Jokic is like, okay. Like
5-point game. 2 minutes.
Lou Dort just got a crazy steal.
Yeah, that's still
crazy.
man.
All right, MP13 said, but then you run into the idea that because you, quote unquote, understand why someone has a biased take, you are supposed to accept their contradictory takes and statements that lack of context and concepts, like Penn calling Kobe inefficient.
But relative to league average, Kobe is not inefficient. Relative to all-time greats, he's on the more inefficient side. And I think that's what Penn said. And someone else came on Ox's stream holding the same sentiment. That
so two things could be true.
Yeah, if you compare Kobe to league averages, which is how efficiency, in my opinion, should be measured, Kobe was always +3, +4 in the regular season. He was around +3, +4 in the playoffs. Got around +6 a couple times. Like he was an objectively efficient scorer relative to the league norms at the time. But then when you compare him to the all-time greats and the conversations he's compared to, those guys are like +7s, +8s, +9s. Kobe's +3 is inefficient in comparison.
So two things.
So that's the point I'm pretty sure Penn was making, that Kobe is inefficient comparatively to that standard. Not oh well, he's more efficient than Rip Hamilton. I mean, yeah, but he's not as efficient as the all-time greats, which is the standard in which he's held to. So I understand what he's saying, but I wouldn't call Kobe inefficient. I think Kobe was an efficient player. But I also will say, comparatively, he was less efficient than the other all-time greats. He's less efficient than LeBron, MJ, Kevin Durant, Kareem, Steph. Like, he's less efficient than those guys. That's also true. Both of them are whatever.
Damn, Jamal Murray just got fouled and threw the ball out of bounds, but the refs didn't call it. I think they're reviewing it.
Get Jamal Murray off the floor. Ron, get him off the floor, Ron. He killing us.
All right.
Is RJ in the game right now?
Yeah, it's Dwight Powell, Jamal, SGA. Hold on, I'm waiting for them. They're reviewing it, so I can't see who's playing right now. I'll let you know here in a second. But as of right now, Cheese sent through a super chat. Been a member for 12 months. Y'all know the face. Y'all know the name. He said Jokic still better. And by the way, Elmar's dub host.
That's
dub
on
Cheese.
That's on the world champion thing, right? Nice.
Dub Cheese. I can't say it enough. But yeah, RJ is in the game. Lou Dort, Dwight Powell, SGA, and Jamal Murray. France is up 73-66, a minute and a half. Evan Fournier step back, in and out. Wemby gets the offensive rebound. But all right, Lil Techie sent through a super chat. He said he didn't compare Kobe to those greats. He said prime Vince and T-Mac and D-Wade.
He was definitely more efficient than Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, he's less.
But was he better though?
Well, he said inefficient. He's objectively less efficient than Dwayne Wade. That's not. He's less efficient. Vince Carter, I could check, but I'm pretty sure he's more efficient than Vince. But I don't want to lie to the people because people have a very passionate about that.
So, what happened, Ron?
Oh, Evan Fournier just hit like a half court shot. Remember where Dame shot the game winner on PG?
Yeah.
He hit some shit from damn near deeper than that with a minute or with a second and a half left on the shot.
So I came off the game to look
for the game. Game's over.
Oh yeah, it's over now. 76-66. It's
yeah. Kobe was more efficient than Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Yes, he was.
Was he better though?
Yes.
That's all. You can have that conversation between whatever. But yeah, D-Wade was more efficient than Kobe, but Vince and T-Mac won. So
damn, Evan Fournier just hit a half court shot to send Canada backpacking up north. Damn.
But Penn was also using field goal percentage, so Penn using field goal percentage was definitely flawed too. So for someone with a stats degree, I would expect better. I'm not gonna lie. So I'll say that about Penn.
Cultured Bandit said the biggest bandit reporting for duty.
The biggest bandit is crazy.
Cultured Bandit also said, so is Swiper a full-on Serbian bandit now?
100%.
Respect.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, that's Swiper.
Bye.
Swiper, I would not be surprised if legitimately Swiper wants Serbia to beat USA when they play. I would not be surprised.
Just to push Jokic agendas?
Yes, I would not be surprised.
I actually think that's going on. To be honest with you, if they would end up, go ahead, Ox. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I'm not mad at it for content purposes. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I'm Swiper, it should have go. Them dudes winning the gold medal don't help him none. You know what I mean? But if Serbia beats America, that's fire for Swiper. Like I don't black man.
RJ just made a 3.
All right, Canada is down 7 now. With
the game's over. Let it go.
All right, Money sent through a super chat and said, "Mars a fraud. We grew up in Australia together."
Australia is one country I can promise I'll never be in. Like, there's not great. It can be beautiful on the internet when I look at pictures. That's one thing I can't promise many things in my life. I can promise there will never be a situation in which I'm in Australia.
PC Australia, pack your bags, Mars.
I won't show
to the Outback, baby.
I won't show up. Like I'm telling you,
Mars, you might find a nice young woman and you fall in love with her, and she might be Australian and she has to go home or something. You'll go with her, bro. Don't do that.
Hey man, if she tries to drag me to Australia, then I guess you're not the one for me, man.
Be True 23 said, "My glorious judge, Big Ox."
W.
Shout out to my bailiff too. Hold it down.
Kay, who's your bailiff?
My son.
Okay.
Nepotism.
KVA said 6'8" shooting guard Mike. I'm just gonna say Mike Ox could slow down SGA. He didn't play today.
He was trying to get it's a joke. If you read it, it would say something. Interesting.
Hey, pull it back
You
up.
don't want-
Let me read.
Oh, okay.
Does somebody want to?
We got open gym. Can we just get to the next?
All right. Brax the Bandit said Penn be committing word buffet. Lieben Glued said Rudy got benched for Batum.
Respect Batum. That's a French legend.
Respect
Right there.
Batum. Definitely
Yeah.
respect Batum.
Lieben Glued also said Murray decided to wait to sign his max contract. Is it mistake?
For him, nah, I think Denver's still gonna give him a max. I mean, if he's hurt again next year, maybe not, but I think he'll be all right.
Certified Casual said Ox wants the leagues quote unquote separate but equal.
Jim Crow Ox.
Oh God, I'm not gonna touch that shit. I'm not gonna touch that.
Lieben Glued said no teams from the 60s and 70s would translate today.
That's not true.
I mean, we'll never know.
We won't never know.
We can't discuss hypotheticals. People
Right.
get mad about them. So we
For
can't.
real.
Well, you know what it is.
Wemby just airballed a layup, by the way.
Even though the Celtics played like they played today in the 60s when they ran the offense through.
No. Hypothetical. People get mad at hypotheticals. No.
Wait, did you say Wemby airball the layup?
Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
So is he a
airballed
bum like Rudy now? Everybody's
He
gonna
got-
say that about Rudy?
He got it back and finished the play, man. He was stat padded.
Garbage.
But he did airball a layup. Yes, he did.
Garbage.
Lieben Glued said Chill hates Kobe too.
It's not glued. It's guled.
But what about the super chat show? You're gonna
No,
touch that?
No, I do not. No, because I don't have him where you have him in rankings doesn't mean that I hate him. That's just not.
No, you and Penn for sure. The hate Kobe.
No, I do not hate Kobe Bryant. I don't.
I told Penn last night, y'all. I said, yo, Chill loves you right now, Penn, because you were taking a lot of this Kobe heat off him.
Penn got Kobe like 26. So
Now, see, that's the thing.
Chill
You can't sell me that, right? You'll never sell me that. No way. That's not.
Man, I
happening.
can name 25 players better than Kobe, but
No way.
Starting with Tracy McGrady.
Man,
Y'all,
starting with Manny Ginobili.
Y'all, and last but not least, a no-name chat rat said SGA tired. He been carrying Team Canada. Jamal is not helping.
Whatever.
It's not Jamal's job to help. He's just there. He's on the team. It's not his job to help.
All right, y'all. We will be back tomorrow. Y'all tap into the Team USA versus Team Brazil in a little bit. Until then,
sir.
We'll catch y'all soon. Open
Later.
gym.
Tap into that, but not open gym. This why whatever. Bro.
I just said open gym next.
No, whatever.
All right.
Thumbs